what to do. Welcome to the Isle of Roux, where no one can tell us what to do.
Not even.
Not even us. We're just dictate. The whole universe dictates our flow. I will start with the land acknowledgement. Rich Teru is getting set up. We had a beautiful little outing this afternoon after school that we'll talk to you about, and so we're a bit slow, but we're here and happy. The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Mokinstis is the ancestral territory of the Siksika, Sidipi, the Siksika, the Gaina, the Piikani, and the Amskapi Piikani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Tsuut'ina, the Ithkabi, which includes Bearspaw, Keiki, and Gwich'in. We commit to advancing reconciliation guided by truths, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands, and who now call this place home. What a beautiful life we live. So we were very lucky to be invited. Our friend is in third year landscape architecture, and we got to go look at their grad.
Am I bugging you?
No, this is me teaching too. Like, there's any movement, so I'm like just watching. And we have big windows, and
What the hell?
The birds are coming back,
Birds.
and so I'll be talking and trying, like, teaching English, and then the kids will even be quiet, and I'll just be watching the birds outside the window. So it is not like you, it is me.
Zoning out?
Yeah. Well, no, like watching. I like listening and watching.
That was a very nice land acknowledgement, by the way.
Thanks.
I think you're saying third year.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we were looking at their work. They used Rich's book. Giovanni. Yeah, Mom saw my ponytail. Mom, look, I have a ponytail. That was today. I was experimenting with
It's actually my ponytail.
putting my hair in a ponytail. And I wore a ponytail to school today. I was like, Teru, look at your ponytails. Like, I said I haven't had a ponytail in like 6 years. And then driving home, I was like, actually, I haven't had a ponytail in like 9 years.
Are you still on camera?
Yeah.
Or is it too high?
No, it's perfect. I'll sit up straight. So yes, and so I was at
How slim you look. Actually,
it's the ponytail. No, but we were at this beautiful year-end show of the landscape architecture students of U of C, and Giovanna did a beautiful project on. It's about how space is used, and she was looking at the river where the river troll is, and how to utilize these spaces that are kind of cut off and hacked up, and how to use them so they're inclusive and used and loved, and using, and love was a huge part of her project, and Rich's book was in like that inspiration of that open palm and giving people space and the idea of boundaries. So it was really fun to listen to the process, and Rich's story was there kind of woven into the background of this landscape architecture project, and it was just really nice to see. We were really grateful, and they gifted a like kind of piece of the project, because you know at the end of a huge project you kind of recycle a bunch of stuff that you don't need anymore, and it's just like, if you're gonna recycle any of this stuff, would I be able to keep it as a memento? And it ended up turning out to be the beginning part of the process.
That's my garbage.
That's right. By your knee.
Doesn't explain why I just threw my garbage over there.
Like, how can we explain any of this? It's totally fine. Oh, and Scott's with us. Scott took us out to his cousin's farm last weekend. Like, we truly are blessed, Scott. Like, last weekend we had this beautiful excursion to your cousin's farm, and we started developing some of the black and white. We have a whole bunch of rolls of color that we're going to be developing soon, and we'll share those with you. But it was just such a gift. Like, it's really...
You're pretty.
You're a gift. Yeah.
Jess is getting her gold tooth right there. If you can see it.
So when I smile, you'll be able to see the glint of the...
I was telling my kids about it today.
My tooth?
Yeah. I said, my wife's getting her gold tooth on the weekend. They're like, don't they have white teeth? I'm like, no. Like, she's putting on a gold tooth since she was a kid. This is my art class. They're like, if she wants a gold tooth, they better give her a gold tooth. Why can't she have a gold tooth? I'm like, it's like she goes and asks for the gold tooth, and then she gets a lecture about being pretty. They're like, no, if she wants a gold tooth, she better just get it. And I'm like, well, we found a place that wasn't going to give her too much of a pain, but they still gave you the lecture. Hey, like,
it was interesting, yeah, because it we first was really hard to find a space that did it. So they work with labs, and the labs get the right amount of weight of the gold, and that's how they get the estimation of like the cost. And then there's only some labs that do it. And there's only some dentists that work with the labs to do it. And then the dentist was sitting there. We had just met him because we just found him because they were one of the only ones that were going for it. And it's like, it's really it's more expensive than...
It's not really expensive.
No, but it's more expensive than the white option. Like, why? And I was like, well, like, we didn't like buy each other really expensive engagement rings. So it was kind of like...
Oh, can I tell something?
Yeah. You're better at telling stories.
No, it's unrelated. I was in the middle of a story and you overrode me.
Anyways, we found a place. And so we're getting I'm getting the impressions taken next weekend.
I'm getting the impression it'll take forever.
So it's about been a year.
No, I was telling the kids that, like, you'll only be able to see the gold star when you really laugh hard. So that's what I'm going to call it. Like, if I really make you smile, I get to see gold star.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, when I see your gold tooth, I'm going to call it gold star. I'm like, oh, gold star smile. Or a gold star joke.
I love that. Yeah. You are a gold star man.
Thanks. It's not true.
It is 100%.
It's not.
If I had stickers, I would give you a gold star.
All right. I'm going to stand up. Oh, I keep kicking that. I have different instincts for where stuff should go than me.
I thought you put that there.
You would think that.
You would.
As I stepped on it the first time, I was like, why would you put it there? And we were setting up, and I tripped on it. I was just like, what sweaty tooth madman would ever dream of putting their
full garbage can?
Did that go in the microphone?
Probably.
We did broadcast out of our house, and then if we go to the bathroom during the broadcast,
we don't go to the bathroom.
You're always like, can they hear this through the door? Then you get mad when I talk about it. Not that mad. It's not, she won't beat me because she loves me. What's on my mind tonight?
What's on your mind tonight?
What? No, I'm asking you. What's on my mind?
You're always on my mind.
You are completely out of your mind.
You're completely out of your mind. Maybe I never loved you quite as often. Often? That's not good.
Well,
as I could have.
Kind of takes on a different meaning when you
say
it. Okay. Existential crisis today.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
What you're talking. Yes. Yeah.
So what happened was yesterday I got to the part in the book where I was like, oh, I'm onto a new section here. Most of my sections have been really connected in the Science 24 universe.
Yeah. Just building on.
Yeah, but it's kind of a shift now that I'm going from like power plants to diseases. And
I was going to say, who wrote that book?
Dave, my principal, wrote my science book.
Sorry, Dave, we love you.
No, we do. And he didn't write the whole book even.
Right.
He wrote the good parts of my book.
Right.
But there's a pretty big shift there from when it go, and I think actually it might be the part of the book where he takes over. So I kind of got into like, okay, like I'm supposed to talk about diseases. I'm like 99.9.99999% sure none of my kids remember anything about cells or the body. So it's a little premature to start talking about how like the diseases replicate and then get dealt with or what have you.
Right.
So this is how I start every lesson. I've never seen Peter Griffith, but I know the name. I saw like one meme where, is it Family Guy?
Mm-hmm.
Peter Griffith goes, "Who the hell cares?"
That's from that?
Who the hell cares?
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody could find us the link to that and send it back to us. And then I'm always like mystified as to like, I can see myself in grade 10 going, why do I need to know this?
Yeah.
And like, or if I try and talk to Kevin about it, who's the band teacher, he's like, if you tell me any more science, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. So I wait till the broadcast. Okay. So anyhow, I'm trying to figure out like, all right, now the other thing is I can only talk to the science teachers about this and they actually know what they're doing. And then on top of that, like the revelations I'm having would be so basic to them that they must be like, how does this guy even breathe? But I know that most of the staff I work with, like if I ask them, they'd be like, oh, I don't do science, I only do social studies or whatever people say. So where did it start? It started with the cell. And where I was kind of leading in my head was when I started the program last year, the first chapter was chemistry. And I stopped and thought, I use this word all the time. I don't think I really know what chemistry means, right? So I said, so what's chemistry? Mm-hmm. And then the answer came out to be the atoms.
How things connect, or yeah.
Want to have a certain number of electrons in each ring.
Mm-hmm.
And to make this boundary fit, atoms stick together. So basically, anything smaller than an atom doesn't really have its uniqueness. The protons and the neutrons and electrons are just protons, neutrons, and electrons. They're all kind of the same. But when you get one proton and one electron, that'll make a hydrogen atom. So that's where atoms become like unique little things, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is something that confuses people all the time, but I think of this in terms of, I also thought of it in math. I always think about the difference between letters and words. And when I try and talk about this, maybe with you, it would make more sense because we studied typography, right? Mm-hmm. And say like when you're going from runes, you have like the alphabet, but you also have a letter called TH.
Right, yeah.
Not called, that represents like TH, right? Yeah. And then there's a letter that represents NG.
Yeah.
So thing would be like this shape, I, and then NG. There's like three letters to write a 5-letter word because the alphabet's slightly different, right? So when you and I think about typography, we're thinking about like the alphabet and letters, and then letters combine to form words, right?
Yeah.
So to that extent, I was trying to explain how 1 to 9 are kind of like the alphabet.
Yeah.
After 9, you start to accumulate numbers to make new numbers. You spell bus, B-U-S.
Right.
The letter K is just K, right? Yeah. You can use the word K. There's not usually a word K. It would be like K-A-Y. Mm-hmm. You could abbreviate it to K. You could go O-K and just write O and K. But generally, letters are letters. And when you put letters together, they form words, right?
Yeah.
1 to 9 are numbers.
Yeah.
10 is an accumulation of 1 and 0 you start spelling out numbers, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good way to.
So then when I think about like protons and neutrons and electrons, the protons, neutrons, and electrons are a little bit like this three-letter alphabet. Where's my camera? And they come together to make atoms, right? Well, when I was trying to figure out why anybody would want to know about cells, I started to piece together, like I knew this, but I hadn't really thought about it. And I totally knew, and this is where I worry that like I'll go into Travis's classroom and talk to him about these ideas I'm having. And he must just think like I was just born yesterday. Like, because, okay, so it started with an egg, right? I wanted to look, and I'm just sort of thinking like, I know what a cell is. I know what's important about a cell. I read it, blah, 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 yada, yada, the smallest element of life. Right, we're back to that again. And then I thought, but what's the biggest cell? So I looked up the biggest cell, and it's a ostrich egg, which is like this big and still in your classroom because I borrowed your ostrich egg. And I told the kids, this is my wife's ostrich egg, and it's irreplaceable. Don't be goofballs. And they've been so respectful around the ostrich egg. It's super cute.
Thank you.
The ostrich egg is a cell, and it's the largest cell we know of. Right now. Other big cells are caviar, right? Caviar are are they seal eggs?
Caviar?
Seal eggs. No, whale eggs, right?
Why don't I know this?
Doesn't matter. Okay. They're big enough that you can eat them, right?
Yeah.
And the human egg is big enough that you can see with your eyeball. Okay. Most cells are, if I was 100 feet tall, if I was the length of a football stadium laying down, then one of my cells would be a millimeter. That's a kind of an indication of how big a cell is, like normally. And like my cafeteria at school is quite large, about 3 school bus sizes. That's the size of blue whale. So then your question might be, well, does a blue whale have bigger cells than me, or just many of them? And they have the same size cells, but infinitely more cells in their body.
There you go.
So then I started like trying to break down an analogy. Now my first assumption was, and I'm going to talk about the chicken egg instead of the ostrich egg. I brought the ostrich egg shell in because it's bigger than the chicken. But then I brought in, we made like
hard-boiled 3,
which a couple of the kids were hungry enough to eat. And then I took 3 raw eggs and cracked them open. And the first one you could see the cell. It's like called the something disc. I forget because I'm not really a science teacher.
Geodesic dome. No, I'm just kidding. I know.
The disc.
Yeah.
And then the disc on the chicken egg is about 1 millimeter, right? And sturgeon eggs are in there, yeah. Oh, because fish are different. Fish is like I think they were talking about mammals when they said the. No, I still think the biggest living species egg that we know of is an ostrich, and sturgeon are on that list.
Very cool.
I would have erroneously assumed my whole life, because I've seen chicks and I've seen where the chicks end up, that inside the egg, there's the egg whites that what I would have assumed would have been food for the chick. Okay. And that the egg yolk was a cell. Yeah. And that turns into a chick.
The chick, yeah.
Did you ever think anything?
I thought the yolk was the chick.
Plebeian. Yeah. The yolk's not the chick. So inside the yolk is this tiny little disc, and that's the cell, and it's one of the biggest cells because you can see it, right? And the yolk is just the food that the cell is going to consume. So that while that cell's dividing, it's going to consume the whole yolk, I think.
You must be yolking.
No, and then it becomes basically the size of the yolk by the time it's a chick, but it starts out as just a tiny cell that just keeps dividing, right?
Yeah, that's as cells do.
Right. So where I thought the yolk was the cell, I also knew that the shell isn't the membrane, because the shell's not even like, okay, so the cell comes from the chicken, right?
Yeah.
it's easier to talk about people because when we talk about people, the cell is like comes from the woman and the man, and the two of the man and the woman's formed together. Yeah. The chicken shell isn't made out of body parts. It's not tartar, but calcium. It's calcium. Yeah. So basically, and I think I'm just guessing this. I don't know if it's true. I know the birds eat rocks, but the chicken's got like calcium in its body.
Yeah.
And it basically rolls the egg around in the calcium to build it up a little shell. So if you imagine taking an ice cream out to the beach and rolling it around in sand, it's not like the sand came from the cow. It's the sand is separate shell that didn't come from the chicken. It just happened to be in the chicken.
So weird.
Yeah. Now inside the shell, the yolk is just support. No, the yolk is the food, and the egg whites is protein, and it's just the support. So basically, the shell is like the paint enamel on a car. The egg white is like the airbags in the car, and the seat is like the yolk, and then there's a driver, and that thing's alive, and everything else isn't, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a grown up, and they've entrusted me to teach science, but I'm going through this stuff, and sort of I know these things, but they just don't land in my head properly until they do. So I knew this 2 nights ago, that the yolk and the whites are just made out of protein.
Yeah.
It did not occur to me there's no cells in the protein. It's not like flesh. The yolk isn't fleshy chicken, right? It's just protein that was produced by the mom chicken for the baby chicken to eat. The yolk and the white is almost more like the milk. It's a product that the mom that creates for the cell to live off of.
Interesting.
The cell is like life.
Yeah.
The protein's not life. And I said to the kids in my class today, like one of my kids comes in from the other class, I go like, so, we're talking about protein. I go like, is an egg yellow? Is an egg protein? He's like, yeah. I was like, is beef protein? He's like, well, there's protein in it. I'm like, yeah. But like, so then is there protein in an egg or is it protein? And he's like, no, it's made out of cells and it's got protein in it, which is what people would think, right? Unless you stopped and said that's not true.
Yeah.
The egg yolk and the egg white are just protein.
Just protein.
It's just a combination of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and helium.
Right. That's the
hydrogen
question.
And hydrogen,
There's
right?
Those elements that are
those atoms come together to create a protein.
Yeah.
That's not life. It's not a cell and it's not alive.
Right.
Inside that egg is one single cell, and it's going to turn into a chicken.
Right.
That cell divides into trillions of cells.
Yeah.
There's trillions of cells in your arm.
Yes, so many.
They're all alive.
And they're all regenerating.
They're alive.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew this. You knew this. Everybody online knows this.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling a little detached from my arm because I damaged it. So I sort of feel like I got this arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped and I thought about it. I'm like, there's trillions of living cells in my arm. My arm's its own universe.
Right. Actually, when we were talking.
And the autonomy of those cells struck me as separate from me.
That's
and
intense.
I just suddenly, I had this existential crisis where I'm like, I'm made out of cells. Like I knew it. I've known it. They taught me that when I was a kid. But it didn't land in my head until today in the afternoon. And I was like, I'm made out of like trillions of and they make their own decisions. They're like, I'm going to go eat this cancer and that's why I'm still here. Or maybe I'm not going to eat the cancer and then I'm not here. But like the idea that even just the parts of myself I take most for granted, my hair is made out of dead cells. My fingernails are made out of dead cells. My teeth are made out of dead cells. My enamel is made out of some kind of vitamin that attaches to my body, right? Like it's hard to come up with an example of something like the chicken egg because most of me is made out of dead cells, right? And I'm made out of trillions of cells. They're all doing their own jobs.
Yeah.
But I think of myself as, so then like, I know that these are stupid questions, but I was sitting there going, well, like a plant doesn't have consciousness, but it responds to stimuli.
And
right?
they talk to each other.
Right. Well, that goes beyond where I'm at with Science 24, but but my heart beats on its own. It has an impulse to beat, right?
Yeah.
That impulse might be generated by my brain, right?
Right.
But the cells in my body kind of have more autonomy than my heart, because my brain's telling my heart to move. My brain's not telling the cells what to do. My cells are just doing their jobs, right? Yeah. So there's like an army of little creatures inside me swimming around, just being part of my elbow. You know, like the weird part that's got too much skin.
And they didn't grow into an ear. Like they were starting out all the same cell.
Yeah.
And everything grew the way it was supposed to.
Most of the time.
But you know what I mean? Like that blows
I do. That's why I said most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was just sitting at my desk thinking how weird it is that...
and is it every 7 years that you're completely rejuvenated?
See, that would be like one of those factoids that I hear.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
But I am not inclined to completely believe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Okay. I like that.
My hair is made out of dead cells.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And my bones are made out of cells.
Yeah.
And I understand that cells die off and replace themselves.
Yeah.
What I don't entirely understand is the process in which they can be sure that all of my cells have gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you took a ship and piece by piece took parts of the ship out and replaced them.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to imagine the entire ship could be replaced in 7 years.
Right.
So I've heard it.
Yeah.
And I have no reason to think that I know more than the experts. And I hate people that think they do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate them, but I'm frustrated by people that think they know more than the experts.
Yeah.
But the other problem I have came from this one girl I taught. She was in grade 9. She had hair all the way down past her bottom into her like mid-thigh.
Yeah.
Right. And she'd never had a haircut. And she decided that year she was going to shave her head for kids that had cancer, which is super nice. Also, the kids at that school decided I would also shave my head, and I had not made that commitment. So,
yeah, how do people do that?
One of the teachers, they talked him into it. There's usually that one guy, like Lucas was that guy at our old school. He would just like agree to those things for the kids. Didn't really care about his hair. I was kind of where you're at right now, where I normally didn't care about my hair. So that's why they were like, oh, Taylor will do it. Mm-hmm. But I just kind of gone through the awkward stage.
Right. You're like
intention of not shaving my head all the time.
Yeah.
I was getting tired of shaving my head and doing the maintenance. I'd just gone through the awkward stage where at home I was wearing a baseball cap for a year. And they're like, and I was changing schools. So they go, well, if we get $500 raised, will you shave your head? And I was like, 100% hard no. And then they raised the money. And then they're like, okay, we need you to shave your head. I'm like, I already told you I'm not doing that. And they tried to guilt me into it. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. How did that relate to any of this? I forgot. What was I actually talking about?
Like autonomy, because that's not
no, what was I actually talking
hair
about?
Shaving?
No.
The kid?
Oh, yeah, the kid with the hair. So it's super sweet that she decided to shave her head to raise money for cancer. She probably also was ready for a haircut.
Right.
Exactly. So that happens sometimes too. It's not like you wanted to keep your hair forever and you're just doing this thing. Usually in combination with deciding you're ready to try something different, you turn it into a spectacle and shave your head.
Yeah.
I didn't want to shave my head at that point. But however, it occurred to me, if she was, what are you in grade 9, 14?
Yeah.
She's 14 years old. She never cut her hair before.
That's a lot of hair.
Well, the cells from her hair came out of her head when she was a baby.
Yeah.
So her hair was 14 years old.
Right.
The ends of her hair were 14 years old. And if the oldest hair cell in her body was 7 years old, her hair was twice as old as she was.
Right.
Unless I don't understand it properly. And I can tell you from teaching Science 24, there's a very good chance that me and almost everybody I know doesn't understand it properly. But they're very patient with me when I'm learning things.
As they should be, because you're learning.
But also I see things differently now. So you and I shoot. How many rolls of film a month do we shoot?
I don't know, like
8?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. At the pace of 8 rolls of film, what's 8 times 12? You're good at math.
That's really sweet that you think that.
Yeah.
Like the lower numbers and
Well,
10s
8
are pretty
times
good.
10 is 80,
Did you
plus
say
2 more 8s is 96. Is that correct?
8 times 12?
Yeah.
96. Yeah, you're good at math.
I'm not. I never learned my multiplication tables because I could add pretty quickly. And so during my math minutes, I was doing like some speed adding, but I never actually ever learned any of my multiplication tables. So we shoot, what did we just say though?
Like 96 a year?
96 rolls of film a year. And our film made out of silver. And sometimes people say stuff like that, but you don't really think it's true. Only it so happens that our film is actually made out of silver. So then I thought, well, that's pretty crazy because silver is kind of expensive, and it's pretty wild that they actually get silver into my film so that I can take photos.
Yeah.
What happens is in the film, in the little see-through layers of the film, there's like atom-sized bits of silver. And when I put light on them, they get compromised with the electrons. And then I put the developer on them. And if I'm talking out my ass here, that's fine. I'm kind of telling you what I think I know, so don't confuse me with the science teacher. The developer shades those electrons, the silver bits that were exposed to the light, turns them black, and then the stop formula stops the electrons from continuing to turn black, and then the fixative rinses the rest of the silver off so that when I put it back in the light, it doesn't start turning black again. The fix that we dump out has heavy metals in it. It's got silver floating in it. So it looks like it just starts to look like gray goo, and it stops working as well.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't really gone through enough of the developing since we've started to have to worry about where we're going to take the fix to dump it so that we're not polluting.
Yeah.
And so I have been, since I realized there's actually silver in our film, wondering, is that a bit extravagant to be using this process that requires a precious metal to be part of the process? But then because I'm a science teacher, I thought, you must be able to extract that metal somehow. So I started to look it up, and it wasn't difficult to find instructions on how to extract the silver from our fix. So instead of, we'll still have to be careful about getting rid of the fix.
Yeah.
But here's the process. You put and I wouldn't have understood this if I hadn't spent the last 2 years teaching Science 24.
Yeah.
The process is you put the fix strips away the excess silver that was in your film.
Yeah.
Then you have this murky water that has bits of tiny microscopic bits of silver dissolved into the water, like when you make Tang or Kool-Aid. And so it's not little bits that you can filter out because they're literally dissolved and attached to the water.
Yeah.
But if you put an iron steel wool in the container, the iron wants to lose an electron. The silver will then pick up an electron, and the water will let go of the silver, and the sludge collects at the bottom of the whatever you're doing your straining in.
Yeah.
The sludge is a mix of impurities and the silver, but what you can do is take the sludge and filter it. The bits of silver like literally stick right to the filter. You'll never get them out. What you can do is set the filter on fire. And
that is really cool.
Yeah, then you'll have ashes. Now the ashes have silver in them. Just looks like a pile of ashes. But if you take a torch and heat the ashes up, what's left of the silver will conglomerate together. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Blob together.
Yeah. Totally.
And we'll end up with a silver ingot about the size to make one ring. I think every 3 months we'll have enough silver to make one ring. Which is funny because I was wishing for that last year when we were tinkering with with wax, making little wax
Sculptures.
not sculptures, but wax. What do you call it? You put in the mold
Like
to burn out.
yeah, it's a sculpture.
It's sculptural, but what is it that you have a
positive
sacrificial?
And you make the negative.
Sure.
Yeah.
Little sacrificial.
For lost wax approach, you do
wax negatives.
It's a positive.
Sure, a positives.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, what do we do with these? Because I've been making little shapes out of wax that I wanted to try putting metals into.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to have the silver. I'm like, where would I get silver? It's like, well, I'll be accumulating it out of my film. So we're going to harvest. We're really panning for silver panning, like in the Klondike.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm doing mica.
Nice.
You can hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a forged air ventilator. Has
We
a
don't hear
filter in the front.
We don't hear your ventilator today, so you're doing a good job with the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Were you able to share the link to Zach?
No, I didn't, because I had my gloves on.
Oh, okay. Wait, did I put the link up for you?
You put the link in, it's in YouTube. Tell Zach that.
Oh, I'm just painting right now. I hope Zach finds it.
I can try and copy it, paste it to him.
Sure. No, don't worry about it if you're working. I was just asking if you did. I actually thought about sharing it, zoned out, saw that you got here, wondered how you got here, and then was grateful. And then I just wondered how much I still had left to do. And then I realized I'm not doing anymore. I'm just painting. So
yeah.
I would love Zach to find us, and we're here for him when he does.
I'm painting with mica, which is different. It's airborne. I have a HEPA filter over there somewhere.
That's good. She was texting, and I was like, yeah, please be safe. I was like, you can wait till you're done that.
Well, I have to cover everything. I have to cover my hair. The laptop is covered, too, the keyboard, because it's floating. It's already on the screen.
That seems very stressful.
But yeah, you won't hear me talking too much.
Tell me some things about mica that you really love.
The colors. When I'm off here, I'll put the, later, show the seahorses I just painted.
We'll get to see your horses?
Seahorses.
Will we see them?
Yeah.
Good.
It's before the resin goes in them.
Cool.
So I'm going to mute it and change it to the other camera here.
Okay.
Jesse and I have been.
Move this way a bit. Here. Oh my God.
Jesse and I have been.
I love this so much.
I know. I wooed you with a painting like this about 12 years ago. It was of a witch. You probably have it somewhere.
I do. I keep it everywhere.
Yeah. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What were you going to say about Jesse?
Well, you and I have been processing what we do so intensely because what we have been doing has been creating such huge feelings.
Yeah.
And there's such weird and continuous familiarity that follows everything we're doing. There's a soundtrack in my head to what we're doing. And there's smells. There's color tones.
Mm-hmm.
There's remember when we started noticing there's all these features in paint that we teach at school. And then when you go to the paint store, they have a whole nother category that we don't talk about in art class, right? We talk about hue, tint, even texture, tone. But what we don't talk about in art class that we do talk about at the paint stores is the sheen, right? So is it going to be, are we getting matte or are we getting right?
The luster.
Right. The lusterness of the paint. We don't really talk about that in our class, or at least maybe Kelly does, but we don't.
Yeah.
Because it's not really in our book, right?
Yeah.
So there's these kind of factors that exist outside of everything, right? And even that's what I was going to say is there's even a luster to the feeling that I'm having right now when we're working. It's kind of the same luster as like those cookbooks that your grandma had that made everything look like it was glazed with sugar.
Yeah.
And it's a similar sort of lighting or feeling, I think, as the set that Rudolph lived on.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a luster and a color tone, and definitely like our Leica cameras are touching on that color tone. Like there's a weird, those glasses that your grandparents had and my grandparents had. Mine were green, and I think yours were brown. And you had brown ones at first, and they kind of wigged me out because they're supposed to be green. I don't know if I ever told you this.
That's really funny. Yeah.
And I think when we're like making our house fit, we got rid of your brown hand-me-down glass goblets, right? Did you have? And they had squares.
Yeah.
That were like the squares, the same shape as those chocolate bars. Do you know? They're like this big, and they had a
yeah. Okay. Sorry, my face is like, oh yeah, like I.
No, but in my house we had the exact same goblets, but ours were green. Were there red ones somewhere? Like, was there some like fascist out there that had like the wrong color goblets? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
never know.
Yeah. Those cups live in my head. There's a pool table in this experience, and those walls that everybody got rid of. You know, the fake looking wood walls?
Yep.
And all of these things live in my head, and I don't play cards, but I can almost see somebody under the, my grandma's lamps sitting and having either a coffee or a beer.
Scott asked, was it the best of bridge cookbooks? I was thinking Company's Coming.
All those. All of those books. It was all the same.
The Joy of Cooking.
I wouldn't know.
There's a bunch, yeah. Continue.
There's this presence that lives. Scott will probably be familiar with this. When I was watching TV, when I should have been doing homework in the late 1900s, there was these never-ending, like it was the same commercials every commercial break. So I'd be watching WKRP, and then at every commercial break, they would go through a collection of Johnny Cash records that Columbia House had. And then when that ran through, they would have a collection of Jim Neighbors albums, and then they might have another collection of stuff. And these seemed like such foreign things to me when I was listening to Quiet Riot and Twisted Sister.
Right.
Why would I want a Johnny Cash album or all of the Johnny Cash albums for 5 payments of $23? Columbia House had like a stack of that. Must not have been a great time for Johnny Cash. But and then what kind of shame would it be to be trying to watch TV and seeing your life catalog sold off on a discount? But Johnny Cash is part of this familiar sense. We've also been like buying things for our home that fit this aesthetic, this sense of a time capsule. And I was trying to break it down today, and I started coming up with words for it. And one of the words, there's 3 terms that I really liked. What were they?
Soft attention.
Soft attention.
Ambient safety.
Ambient safety. And it does kind of relate around our home turning into a porthole, right? A portal?
Portal, yeah.
On top of that, I saw this fantastic little video. Because the things we're drawn to tend to have like mythic backgrounds. So I like this one color, and it'll turn out to be the first color. Or to my shame, after spending 2 months rent on a Leica camera for me and you, I realized that hipsters are buying Leica cameras, and there's like a whole like subculture of people that wear beanies and shoot on the same camera as me, which is why like that one lady at the coffee shop is like, I see you get your little cameras. And not knowing that that was like a scene that I was entering, there was something about the Leica camera that I had to have. And I kind of worked out in my own head because like we're learning these things on our own as we go.
Yeah.
So there's certain little learnings that sort of like I'd wondered out loud if 35 millimeter film came from film stock, and it was just like I wonder if they retrofitted movie film to fit inside a camera. And then I was watching this like little morning documentary on the Instagram about Leica, not only how they retrofitted film to take photos.
Because the guy had asthma, he had to take the large format and he shrunk it down into something he could fit in his pocket because it was talking about how he couldn't carry big heavy things around with him.
Right.
And so he shrunk it, and the film industry had this 35 millimeter film already.
Right.
So he built it, like you said, retrofit it.
Right. And my good friend Colin was talking about getting a 4x5. And I was like, oh, like, why does that make me feel bad? And that happens with you and I a lot. Like I'll have a visceral response to something and then I'll try and explain it. And I'm like gripping at straws, like, why do I hate that idea?
Yeah.
And the answer is I like that the 35 millimeter film that we use ends up lining up with the Fibonacci sequence. I like that I'm getting the golden ratio out of my photos. I never want, and people are like, oh, then you're going to want, medium-sized format cameras. So I am never going to want in my life a square photo, right? Mm-hmm. And if I did, I would chop half of a photo off my 35 millimeter. I just don't want it at all. Like it's I'm not saying other people can't have it.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's inherently wrong for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And so there's so many little things in the story about the Leica camera that really struck me deeply. But then I found out that also like the Leica family was a little bit like Schindler's List, where they were starting to sneak Jewish people out of Germany by placing them in New York at the New York factory.
The lights,
and sending them away with a camera and a little bit of care package that if they got stuck, they could sell the camera. Like the camera was
and they gave like monthly dividends, like they would pay them until they got on their feet.
Right.
And like not just the employees, but the whole family was transported.
Right. So we like these cameras, but that brand of camera was also their own underground railway for escaping Jewish people. Mm-hmm. That really like hit me hard this morning.
Yeah. I cried like 3 times before we left the house, even because it was like so beautiful. There's so many.
Yeah. So we have all these little pieces combining to make this space that I'm like obsessed with, but I don't really understand. But it's also a little bit like, I don't think you've ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but Richard Dreyfuss just started making like mountain sculptures out of potatoes in his living room, mashed potatoes and stuff. And then he finds himself, we should watch that actually. I bet she's pretty good.
I would love that.
Finds himself driving out to this mountain where the aliens land because he was hearing a calling. And I feel like a lot of our life, we're like chasing these callings that don't make sense. But then after the fact, everything falls into place and they do make sense. And you're like, what just happened? Mm-hmm. So there was a weird sort of thing where we started understanding, like, after 12 years of service, we're starting to build these safety rituals that really...
Oh, that's what it was. It was talking about, like, because you're like, what is this feeling? Like, I can see the colors. I can, like, all of these things. And then we're talking about it, and all these words start coming up of, like, and we were talking about, it's like, we're regulating ourselves through these activities. We're regulating our central nervous systems through things that are
it's neat,
are beautiful, like
right.
And it's also, it's like more than neat, it's interesting that both of us have this like nostalgia and sense of safety around this very similar
but can I tell you something?
Things. I
hate nostalgia. You wouldn't think that I would with all the nostalgic things around me.
Mid-century modern stuff.
Oh, that's not going to work.
I'm
Just
sorry.
move this way a bit.
I'm going to in a second. I don't know how I did that.
You evolved right into my body.
I was
okay, but like that's the thing
away.
is I can't stand nostalgia. I hate the concept of it. That one movie, that Woody Allen film I used to like.
Yeah.
It really bothered me that was his central point, because to me, I really feel like nostalgia ends up being the antithesis of what I'm interested in.
Right.
But that's part of it. Can you please move?
Yeah, I will. Sorry.
The part of it is that they definitely the path we're on is nostalgia adjacent.
Right. It's not based in.
It's not nostalgia at all,
gone.
but somehow it could look like nostalgia. That's kind of like where it's like
right.
Other people jonesing after this camera because it's popular.
Yeah.
Finding out it's popular after I bought one. Having the compulsion to do some research and find out which camera do I want. It's like, no, it's got to be this one. And it's got to be right now. And then the world's going to run out of them. And then they did. So not completely, but pretty close. It's crazy. It's crazy how like those things. And then, yeah, I'm sitting in the house like wondering why if I hate nostalgia would I be chasing this sensation so hard? But then it starts to pull together and make sense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big feelings.
Yeah, a lot of big feelings.
Because it's not nostalgia, but it's something.
Yeah. Like you said, from the outside, it could look like it. But the drive is something different. It's not about holding on to something and not growing. It's about growth through.
I don't like nostalgia because of artifice.
That's what it's surface. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something really pivotal, like core.
Yeah. There's something really authentic.
Yeah.
That we're reverse engineering in our space here.
Yeah.
And then we got notice that they're going to let themselves into our apartment and change our windows. I'm like, I don't need you to change my windows. And Jess is like, oh, yay, new windows. I'm like, no, it's never better. Nothing in this building's ever happened that ended up better than before. It's going to be like 3 weeks of us moving our everything out of. Oh, can you just move everything out of the bedrooms? Like, no, you give me an extra apartment.
Yeah. Truly.
Nostalgia. At one point, I had to make a decision that I didn't like Woody Allen anymore.
That's fair.
And had to give up one of my favorite movies. He's kind of a miserable prick, though. Sorry, I said a bad word. Nostalgia. I like these little paint sets because they have so many colors.
Mm-hmm.
I dislike them when I forget which little square I was painting out of.
Oh, that's funny.
Is it though?
No, it's not.
Have you ever done that?
Is that a horse butt with human feet?
Kind of it is, isn't
Oh
it?
my God, I love that. Bridge, I love everything about this.
I'll sell you this painting
I will buy it.
for a kiss.
Oh,
I will extort a kiss out of you for this painting.
Bridge, this is so beautiful.
Because the kids in my class are starting to make those paintings for the poster contest. And I found one of the kids has a photo that she took.
Mm-hmm.
She was really excited about using it because she took it, but there's like qualities of that particular image that are difficult to perceive, let alone draw, difficult to perceive. Sometimes with horses, their legs aren't where you expect them to be.
Right.
And the other problem with horses is that they stand on their toenail.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you're standing on your toenail, then every joint in the body moves backwards.
Shifted up.
Yeah. So the ankle is what we think of as the knee. The knee is like right up there where what we would expect the hip to be. And the hip is kind of adjacent to the
like into
the knee. It's kind of tucked inside.
Yeah.
So she has this beautiful photo, but it's difficult to work with and it's difficult to see. And so I said, what you should do, rather than like, have you ever had a kid that started a drawing when they're fighting with it to fix it?
Yeah.
I said, rather than fixing this drawing, what you really should do is take a break from this, use this nice expensive paper. I'll give you a new paper. I'd love to give you a new paper in exchange for you use this paper to draw like 10 horses.
Yeah.
And just play for a bit. She's like, I cannot do that. I was like, yeah, I hear you. It's hard to do that. It's hard to let go in that way. Mm-hmm. But just play for a bit. Just tinker. And then so I grabbed the photo of the horse mm-hmm. and a fresh piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to show her how like you can use the negative space and shapes to sort of block it so it's less intimidating.
Yeah.
And then I realized I wasn't crazy about the direction of the head. And I was explaining to her, like, well, I'm going to just change the head here. And I'll warn you in advance. I don't know the horse anatomy as well as I know human anatomy. Yeah. So I'm kind of going out on a limb here.
Yeah.
And I changed the shape of the head and like redrew from the neck up. I just drew it out of my head.
Yeah.
It's the best horse ever. It's like it came out so good. I was like, you should probably use this one for the contest.
You should probably just
keep this one and use it.
That's awesome.
But it's partly because I wasn't doing it for myself. I was just
you were free.
Yeah, free to play.
Yeah, the play is really
I was trying to demonstrate to her the part about playing.
Yeah, and then you did the best.
And the play came out of me and it ended up being very kind of meaningful. I just had another flash of that feeling that we're talking about. It also includes my mom's curtains.
Interesting.
From the late 1900s. Did I ever have blue curtains in your lifetime with me? Maybe at the gallery or in any of our...
We had lots of different colors at the gallery.
They were striped and see-through.
No.
Oh, you know where you've seen my blue curtains? You had gold curtains in the exact same design at your cabin.
Oh, when you said stripes, I thought
I'm sure I told you this, right?
The cabin, yeah.
The striped curtains at your cabin were the exact same curtains as mine. But instead of green cups, you had brown cups. And instead of blue curtains, you had orange curtains. You did everything wrong.
We just grew up in an alternate reality.
Yeah, yours was wrong, though. The proper color for those curtains is blue. The proper color for those cups is green. I'm good, you're bad. Sorry, I can't back that up. It's not true. Oh, I love when I refill these nice watercolor sets.
Yeah.
Because I always change the color. And when I change the color...
You have coffee in the kitchen.
I know, I'm going to go get it.
Okay.
When I change the color, I end up with like I got green and teal in that block.
Yeah.
And it's going to make a weird mix of things. Would you like a coffee?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I have my water here.
You seem tired.
Yeah. I think like this week back has been really emotionally overwhelming. Like
this week back, we've only been back 2 days. That wasn't nice. You're like, you want to punch in the eye? I'll punch your eye right now.
You want to punch in the eye? I will eat your nose.
You're going to have a scrotum limp pretty soon. What is a scrotum limp? You'll find out.
Maybe we both
I was trying to explain how
mean?
things come out of my mouth impulsively sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're either way funnier than I meant or like kind of sad for me. But something happened this morning, and I was in a super manic experience. I was like super manic this morning, and I was telling the kids like we drove by a squished bunny on the highway with its gut sticking out. I said, "He won't do that again." The kids like, "Mr. Taylor." I'm like, "I am so sorry." They're like, "No, that was funny."
Yeah, it was really funny.
I got a really huge laugh out of that twice because you laughed at it.
Yeah.
Well, he won't do that again. What was I thinking? Like it made sense when I said it. Like I think I was crossing planes into like that bunny's next lifetime.
You're not wrong.
He will have an aversion to jaywalking. I have this one super dutiful kid that always follows the rules. And we take these walks. And it always takes 10 minutes longer than I think because he won't cross anywhere but the crosswalk. And it really matters to him that we go in the crosswalk. Like he's
Super cute.
also already got tickets to the train show.
Very cute.
So I'm sitting next to him in science today and he's just working away. What we did, I don't know if did I tell you what we're doing today?
No.
I came in, I gave them a little bit of a reminder of where we came yesterday. And then I said, you guys want to just like make some cells out of clay? So they were making cells that they all like kind of started and then got overwhelmed and abandoned it. But they're basically making cells, like human cells, out of clay. And I sit next to this one young man, the one that only ever crosses in the crosswalk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, can you do me a favor? He's like, what? I'm like, can you look up the train show? He's like, I have tickets. And so he's got tickets in advance for the train show at the BMO Center.
Nice.
And so then just because like I know just enough about train shows to ask him, I go, dude, what's your ratio? And he starts going into like great detail about how his favorite ratio is different than his dad's favorite ratio.
No.
And I was like, that's super cute. One to one. That's how I know about ratios. Is my friend Ken worked at CP Rail. So he liked going to the train show, and he had one dad joke that he would tell is he'd go there and he'd ask people what their favorite ratio. It's like a code, right? You walk in, everybody's judging everybody, and they say, oh, a P52 Western. And the guy at the booth is like, you know what a P52 Western is? He's like, well, of course I do. And then they'd have this like kind of nerd conversation about it being the best train ever. And then the guy would like want to like decide, like deciding, do I accept this guy into my clan or not? And he goes, wait, what's your ratio? And Ken goes 1 to 1 because he was an electrician that worked on the trains. So you may or may not know that a train show, they have different ratios. So like one train is like this big and another train's this big. So this is 1/80th and this is 1/14th. I don't know the ratios of them. I'm only like nerd adjacent on trains, but
Nerd adjacent.
My friend Ken actually worked on trains. And it's funny, we saw Ken at the grocery store and I looked at him and I was like, that guy looks like a guy I used to know named Ken. And he looked at me like, I don't need to talk to you. And then I said to him, are you Ken? And he's like, yeah. And then it was like, I don't know if he saw me and decided not to speak to me or if we both hadn't seen each other in such a long time. That's what I said to Harold. Like when Harold showed up, he's like, I'm here, buddy. I'm like, well, I've been here for half an hour. He's like, oh, I'm like, I'm sitting outside. And then he goes, ha ha. And I'd wondered if we'd looked at each other and we were just two old men that couldn't see each other anymore. But he looked pretty much the same. So I don't know what happened though. We didn't bump. He must have been like in different corners of the space. I'm giving myself, because of Instagram, permission to leave the background white. There would be, if I had kids that watched this broadcast that I taught, their answer to me would be, Mr. Taylor, you can't just leave the background white. Artists know that means unfinished. I'm doing it.
the opening credit says.
No one can tell us what to do.
Yeah.
We should do what I think is right. Right? I'm doing like the contradiction of 23 years of teaching. I paint the background. I want the background white. I'm like, yeah, but when you do the background white, everybody knows you got lazy and didn't finish. And then, like in this case, it's not that I'm lazy and not finished, is I like the white background.
Because of how colorful your piece is.
Sure, but what makes me so special that I'm a lot of white background?
I think you working for 54 years.
Don't tell people I'm 54.
You can make a decision about your artwork. I think the issue is
the kids ever ask you how old you are?
When they're all the time.
What do you tell them?
Like, I'm proud because I'm just about 40. So I say I'm just about 40, and they're like, "What?"
I always tell them I'm 102.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you know why though?
Why?
Well, there's two things. One, would it be vain if I say I think I've aged kind of well? I've aged well enough that when I tell people how old I am, they were usually guessing I wasn't as old as I am. I think that's a sign that I could be doing worse, right?
Mm.
Secondly, kids have no idea about
age.
So
Yeah.
Anything over 28, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry that your life is
You're
over."
just about dead. Yeah.
So, I always tell them 104 every time. They're like, "How old are you?" I'm like, 104. They're like, "Really?" I'm like, "No." Then I tell them the truth. They're like, "Oh, okay." Like, yeah, 104 seemed like a lot.
I love that they listened to you.
Yeah, I also contradicted what I said last week. I hate when people lie to kids.
I'm not lying.
Like, a little bit. I'm not 104.
Right. That's true.
What do you think of this painting? Can I switch screens here?
I love it so much.
Why? You always love these. You're like I can figure you out.
The bleed from the colors.
Yeah.
And just like the people looking right now, he didn't draw anything. He like how these bodies came to be was just so organic, and the guy in the center was first, and then he went to the left, and then he like this one blows my mind, and then that hand on that guy's head, like it's so organic.
It's because I wasn't trying that hard.
Oh, you're just so
when you try, it's never as good.
You're playing. It's really good.
There's a movie that lives in my head, and I'm afraid it's really bad, but it might be really good. I think it was called At Play in the Fields of the Lord. It had Tom Waits in it.
Mm.
I wonder who the star was. I hope it wasn't Kevin Costner. Okay, how many steps did I take today? Wow. Shut up, stupid. Can't stop yelling at me. Okay, I have to ask Kelly a question. Kelly, let me know when you can talk. What am I looking for again? Oh, yeah, Play in the Fields of the Lord. I keep getting like I'm not a robot things, and I hate them because they're hard for me to pass. Like that could be a bus. That could be a bus. What isn't a bus? Lots of things aren't buses. What are you looking at?
I don't know.
It was the first time I saw Tom Waits in a movie. That's probably how I ended up there. None other than the acting talent of Mr. Tom Berenger, Daryl Hannah, Kathy Bates, Aidan Quinn, John Lithgow, and Tom Waits. And
what's it called?
At Play in the Fields of the Lord. It's not about. Was it about? I remember it was like a colonizing film where it was like Europeans were going out to this remote place, and then the idiot in the film gets somebody sick because he brings the flu to the people, and it's really like it was really heavy, super heavy.
just thinking of Tom Waits. His existence in that makes it really abstract in my head.
Why?
Because he's like the devil and everything. And
Oh, he
so
might be the devil in that.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That was satisfying.
That noise reminds me of the year that I ended up with a PC computer. And it had all these novel noises for things. And I remember, like, I just hated it so much. But it had, like, some quirky, really quirky things.
Mm-hmm.
So it had, like, a teardrop sounding alert that I turned on for when you clicked on things. Mm. This crow that I took its soul is just such a drip. Just dripping through the air.
So beautiful.
Do you know what is the opposite of this good feeling that I keep talking to you about? And I really don't want it to intrude and invade into my life? He-Man.
Oh my god.
Why is that funny?
I just love.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Or?
How intense? No, I do. How intense your emotion was at that time when you said it. It was just like
It's like a deep, awful intrusion that somebody would. First of all, you want to make a movie, fine, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Until I do. Until it's on every social media platform. Some reference to He-Man. And I don't know anything about He-Man, first of all. There's I think it's generational.
Yeah.
And secondly, maybe like He-Man came out at a point where I wasn't really watching TV or playing with toys, but I still always loved to go into toy stores. I love the feeling of being in a toy store. And as an adult, I could imagine being interested in the toys, even the ones I wasn't interested in.
Yeah.
And then one day, this is another thing. In Canada, I don't know if it was this way for you, because you and I are, at least toy-wise, a completely different generation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what kind of toys did you have again?
I had Barbies.
Okay, Barbie,
Trolls.
probably not the same thing. Because, like, Barbies were like, you'd go in and you'd see on the shelf a different kind of Barbie that you didn't have before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was.
I walked into, the first time it happened was I was obsessed with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Walked into a toy store. I don't even, like, to my mind, toy stores were new. You know, there wasn't, like, stores that were dedicated to toys. There was, like, a toy department in the Bay.
Yeah.
But I walked into this toy store that was a new toy store, and they had an entire wall. I must have said this at Rumble House and Gorilla House 1,000 times. They had an entire wall of R2-D2s. They had 2 C-3POs, and then they had like a couple characters you'd never heard of, like the guy that drove the ship.
Yeah.
This guy.
This guy.
And like, you knew he was in the movie because he's wearing like Star Warsy clothes, but you're like, who would ever want that toy?
Right.
And but I deeply wanted R2D2 and C3PO so there'd be a binary and they could have interactive play. And they had like 2 C3POs in the store, so I was like, I got to get this now. But on the back of the toy box, they would have pictures of all the other characters that should be on the shelves.
Yeah.
And my only theory is, and I came up with this theory by myself, but my theory is that they just weren't sending all the toys to Canada. Like in California, maybe they had every Star Wars figure on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And in like Montana, maybe they had half the Star Wars figures. And in Alberta, they had R2D2 and the guy that pulls the shield down,
Yeah. Jack Pike goes, by the power of Grayskull.
Right. So how is that possible?
Hey, Rich.
What?
Rich, what did you need?
I was just looking for something and I saw you sent me a message explaining that you couldn't send messages because you were using a mica.
Yeah, I can. I'm not typing though.
You typed me a message saying you couldn't type. I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask.
That was earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Was that the question?
You meant in the future I won't be able to write.
Yeah.
You can imagine how weird it would be for me to read you a message from you saying you can't write. Right? It's like when you're coaching wrestling and the kids are like, I can't breathe. I'm like, don't tell them you can't breathe because you need to breathe to tell them you can't breathe. Just gasp and maybe spit, and maybe if you can hork some blood onto the mat, they'll call the match. But like, don't tell them you can't breathe because you need air to do it.
Did you guys want me? I was thinking of making you a special paint if you want.
We
with
don't.
The mica.
I don't like.
Once it's in the water, it doesn't float. Like once it's mixed, it won't do anything.
Thank you. No.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
It's really
Kelly.
sweet of you to offer.
Yeah.
That is super sweet.
I think I was having guilt last week that you offered to make me something, and I was like, in terms of products, I'm not crazy about plastics. Where does mica come from?
Don't know.
Mica actually might.
I have to look it up.
I need to know that. Like, I get excited about where things come from.
Mica might be from like mother of pearl.
Yeah.
When I find out, I'll let you know.
Jess is looking it up right now. And is the word for mica?
MICA.
Yeah. So it's a mineral.
It's a mineral.
From igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary
It's
rocks.
Traditional?
Forms of flakes. Yeah, it's from flakes of rocks.
What year?
No, it's like what era is it?
Yeah, like how long have we been using it? No, like is it, have we been using it for 1,000 years? Have we been using it for 20s of years? What is the history of mica? It's in the Bible.
Humans have been using mica for tens of thousands of years. Evidence dating back to Upper Paleolithic periods utilize mica for its sparkling reflective properties in cave paintings. It has been used by civilizations across the globe for decorative, ceremonial, and practical purposes throughout history.
Yeah. Kelly, I like that it's traditional. I'll give you that. What was your interest in it? What brought you to mica?
I like the colors actually because
I just asked you that and you answered me already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? And you say it's toxic. It needs a mask.
It's not toxic. It's fine particles.
What do the particles do?
It's like a dust.
Maybe like silica.
That sounds like a carcinogen.
But it looks nice once you paint.
Yeah.
But I hand paint everything, so.
Yeah.
That's what the resin looks like after it's been poured.
You're very generous.
The mica reacts with the heat from the resin to do different colors.
Oh, so mica is used in makeup.
So if the mica is like, it says blue, green, purple,
Yeah.
it reacts with the heat from the mica.
Mm.
Or the resin does, sorry.
Iridescent.
Yeah.
And then you also had like, is Formica counters? Is that a thing?
If it's connected.
It's something to do with the heat. The heat actually brings the color out for some reason. If it's white.
Right. That's really
So it
neat.
reacts to the heat.
That's really neat, Kelly.
Yeah.
I really like my blue indigo, and I haven't wanted to paint since we shut the gallery down. And I was just discovering the other day I might feel like painting again. I'm not sure, but it might be getting closer to wanting to paint again.
Okay. So I was wondering if it was like similar safety concern as silica, and silica is like a quartz, and that's in clay, and that's like the danger of the dry clay.
Yeah.
And so that, so mica has silica in it.
Yeah.
And
hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Is there in Hungary, where you're from?
Yeah.
Did they? What is the royalty? What's the name of that? The royalty in Hungary, is it like a king and a queen, or is there a czar?
Well, now it's like a democracy.
But was there ever royalty?
Yeah.
There was a Hungarian prince, right?
Yeah.
What were they called? Princes and princess. Was there a
Hungarian
Hungarian
if there was a
king?
prince, there would have been a king.
Maybe a czar, though. You could have. I don't know.
Hold on, I don't know this.
Can you also check and see if they chew with their gum with their mouth open?
You're such a dick. I'm feeling like throwing up, and I had to have gum, so I can go.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have gum.
And lay down.
I got one ear that works.
I apologize. I'm sorry. It is rude. I'm sorry.
Am I gonna get it later?
No.
That'll be like hate mail for me teasing you about the gum. Are you still chewing gum?
No.
Where did your gum go?
I'm just not tasting it right now.
What does that mean?
Like if I chew it, then I can taste it. But
you still have gum?
It's just floating in my mouth, then it's just lightly flavoring my mouth.
Oh, and then it turns into a sludge?
No.
I'm so sorry. It was super loud.
Jack Pike said mica is used for insulation. It's a mineral. I think also in some chip productions, it's a dielectric. What does dielectric mean? Did I read that wrong?
Yeah. No, I don't think you did. I was going to say that maybe it's like when I think of mica, I'm remembering it was in, did he say insulation?
Yeah.
That might be in my version. Definitely. There's some building products I don't like to work with. And I don't like the smell of them. That comes from like trauma days. So I bet you even the smell is probably, I don't know. I don't always know why I don't want something, but it's like immediately feel like, no, I don't want that.
All of the precautions you have to take, I feel like, nope, I'm good. That's mine with the mica.
Well, Kelly says if it's made into paint already, you don't have to take the precautions.
Right. Oh, yeah. Like I do love the colors, and I love, but yeah, you're right.
I'm just starting to feel like I might start painting again. When I do, I'm strictly going to stick with oil. And part of that is because of the gallery, you and I ended up with stuff. Like, that was part of the drinking problem is people kept bringing us alcohol. It's like, we don't need more alcohol. And then sometimes we drink it just to get rid of it. And then, and because it's fun. But when we started closing the gallery, there was sort of like a window of ending coming. And what I realized was I wanted to get rid of the stuff that dried out. So I was going to start with I was starting with like gouache because my gouache can dry out. But you can reignite the gouache. You just split the container open and wet it. Then I was using acrylics because I didn't want them to dry. And then I have like boxes of oils that I haven't gotten to. I haven't painted with oil since I opened the gallery. Maybe in the summertime I'd pull the oils out for 1 or 2 paintings a year. So I'm used to having a big studio to use the oils.
Right.
But I think right now I might just give myself permission to work on a small oil painting.
Dielectric means it can hold or not hold electricity. Cool.
Yeah, Jack Pike, were you on when I was talking about cells? And then would you have been like, whoa, that guy knows nothing? Because I know a little bit. I'm not stupid. I just, like I said, it just hadn't landed with me that, I'm not wording that right, because every time I try to say it, it's like, of course I knew that our cells were made out of lots of different cells, but there was just a weird like sense of like the weight of it hit me all at once. Octopus. Thanks. There's a crow. I remember in the old days when Jack Pike used to phone us on the bat phone. That was a ton of fun. I don't think my phone's rang in weeks. It's like getting knocked out. You didn't get your bell rung.
Is it still attached?
I don't know. I'm baiting to see if Jack Pike gives me a phone call. Can Jack Pike be coerced?
Jack Pike asked if there's an alcoholic paint. There is alcohol markers.
There's alcoholic painters. There's 2 of them sitting right here, actually. I will tell you something brutal that I shouldn't. This is how we roll.
This is actually.
Our friend Darcy passed, Darcy Lasecki. His cremation is on this weekend. And I was talking to Harold about it. And then Harold and I decided it might be appropriate, even though neither of us drink, to down a few in honor of Darcy Lasecki, which seemed like reasonable and a healthy boundary. Like, okay, I'm not going to go back to drinking, but what I could do is just make the practice of when I lose a good friend, maybe it's okay to drink in celebration of them passing through the eye of the needle, the way Alexander Elliot would word it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my first thought was, well, what are my limits here? Like I can totally handle this. I could have one drink and not like start jonesing for alcohol all day, every day. And again, every time I say this, I like to remind you, we were not waking up in back alleys with no shoes. We just, both, I think you and I were thinking about drinking a lot. And I really think it was the cutting back on drinking that killed it for me. Because I would just have one drink and then I couldn't wait until tomorrow. Like, if I could just fall asleep and disappear for a while, tomorrow I get to have another drink and then I'll wait for the next day.
Yeah.
And so I got in my head that it would be prudent for me to have one drink in our honor of Darcy's life force. And then I was like, well, what defines a drink? Like, because like, a single let me just try it. Well, neither of my phones are ringing. Do you know my number? One of the phones should ring. Do I have the ringer turned off?
Till the midnight hour.
I don't know why that happened.
It was forwarded to mailbox.
Did my phone get canceled? Did I forget to pay my bill? Oh, look, there was no ring. Wait, hold on. Okay, try ringing again, my dear friend.
Because I wonder when we're moving everything if that got unplugged or something.
It says I'm connected. Yeah, you're right. It might be unplugged.
Uh-oh, Galen. Did we tell you?
Oh, stepped on my painting.
No, that was my painting. Oh, this other one.
I might have just hung up on Galen. Was it wet?
Not the colorful one. The crow one is fine. Everything's fine.
By all intents and purposes, it looks to me like. Did this ring?
No. Darcy. Jack Pike was asking about Darcy. I
Darcy
think maybe,
passed.
Yeah.
Darcy passed away, and he is an angel in heaven now.
In the next realm.
And I had this thought that I would have a drink for Darcy. And then, okay, so you and I were talking about it, like, how do we want to have this drink? Like, do we go into a bar? Seems so barbaric. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, hang on. You're going to be with us online via the phone, so we will hear your voice. Normally, we don't hear your voice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I guess, did I not tell you about Darcy?
I did not know.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Shoot.
Oh, Galen, did we tell you?
My voice.
Oh, stepped on my
No.
That is quite a lag.
It is. I'm gonna turn the sound down.
Turn the volume down. There's a time traveling event between you and me.
It's pretty cool.
That's like 5 minutes ago.
So, okay, yeah.
Darcy passed, and then I thought, well, it'd be right and proper for me to have a drink to celebrate Darcy. And then I thought maybe the best solution would be like Jess and I were like, well, we don't want a bottle of bourbon in the house. And I also wondered, do they still sell bourbon? I haven't bought alcohol since before the trade war.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like the right and proper thing to do would be maybe we get like a Mickey and just split it, right? And then I was thinking about where would I get a Mickey, and then I was thinking about like, well, what happens when the Mickey's gone? And then Galen, this is so awful. I started running through my head like, who else is old?
Oh, did you think of me?
No.
You didn't come up. No. You are not.
You're going to be around
realm.
long enough that it doesn't help me put alcohol in my system. I need a list like, and that was like, okay, so I'm not bragging. I'm not saying like this is a great quality. I'm just like, it was a thought that I had that reminded me, no, I probably shouldn't think of this as just a weird hobby that I gave up drinking. I probably should consider that like there is, and I don't know, like I probably think maybe a lot of people don't really realize they're alcoholics because they haven't had a chance to quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's not until you decide that you're not going to drink anymore that you realize how much it invades your life. But I was certainly shocked at like that I was pulling out the life calculator from the retirement fund to figure out how long till my next drink.
So what did you decide?
100% no, not a good idea.
There's other ways to honor.
Well, and I'm different than Jess, is that like I think like I had a different reason for quitting drinking than Jessica did. And we had different physical reactions to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I say, oh, like I don't think I'm addicted to alcohol, let's just have like one drink and we'll just do like one time, she's like, I will stab your face. Because you didn't like going through like the experience of not drinking, right?
Yeah.
I like torturing myself.
Yeah,
so.
it was like you probably like that feeling of like
boy,
feeling, really feeling.
I'm really alive right now.
I drank to not feel. I was like exactly why I drank.
It's true. So,
feeling. Oh no.
Everything's so vivid while I'm in what do you call it when you go through detox?
Yeah.
Everything's so vivid in detox. And I definitely felt that way the last week when I got sick. I was like so happy to be sick. Most people don't have this joy, but I love being sick.
You got sick?
Yeah, and you know what
Yeah.
else? I lied. I've lied to you, Galen. Because I say I never get sick. And then when I got sick, I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, I have been sick. Because I reckon, like, I remember this feeling from whenever. So let me tell you about when I got sick. I got sick once since I met Jessica. She had the swine flu or something. No, you had
It was like before COVID.
you probably had COVID, and you were sick for a month.
Yeah.
And then I finally got sick after you were sick for a month, and I was sick for 2 days. Really, 1 day and a day of rest.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of milked it. And then before that, I got sick during swine flu. That was around 2007-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So I got sick once in the 2020s, or maybe
2018.
I got sick in 2018. I got sick around,
It's like in the 1820s.
I got sick. Well, I got sick in 2018. I got sick in 2008.
I was gonna say it's your 10 years.
I got sick in around
20.
1997 or 8. One of those. Oh, I probably got sick in 1998. And then I haven't been sick since I was a kid. So I was sick. And most of those times I couldn't tell if it was food poisoning or like if I had like a stomach flu. But I think in each case it probably was like I get a 10-year stomach flu once a decade. And when I do, I want it to be 3 or 4 days, but it's usually like just an afternoon. And I loved it. I was so happy to be sick. And then it abandoned me. And then I missed it. I was so like, I was you know, I really missed being sick. And how often do you get sick?
I try to avoid getting sick as often as possible. I don't know.
I bet you don't get any sick any more often than I do. You just think it's bad.
I used to get bronchitis once a month.
Oh no.
What does bronchitis
That's-
feel like?
Awful.
Well, for me, and then the other thing is like and actually this was before I knew that Darcy passed, because I was really quite worried about Darcy losing his hands. And then when I got sick, it occurred to me that if Darcy was living rough and he had the flu that I had, like when you have a home and a dry set of clothes and a dry blankets to change into, the sickness is kind of nice. It's like, oh, here's like, I wake up, I don't feel great. I go to the bathroom, like vomit, diarrhea, jump in the tub to get my body temperature up because I'm hypothermic from the throwing up, and then get my temperature back up. Then I'm overheated and I feel like overwhelmed. Jump out of the tub and go to my room. I get hypothermic again. You know that feeling where people do like cold plunges in the hot tubs and the snow?
Yeah.
That's what I felt like when I was sick. It was like a whole night full of hot plunges. And then when it was gone, like the problem solving of like, how am I going to survive this went away. But I also got struck by like, if I didn't have clean sheets to change into.
And a toilet.
Like, yeah.
So you didn't like the sick part, you liked the recovery part. Because it made you appreciate not being sick more.
No, I liked the sick part. I liked the intense sensation of life that came with feeling that bad. No, Galen, you're sort of right. Not the recovering part. It was the part where like there's temporary suffering and then like a reprieve from the suffering.
Yeah.
I like the intenseness of the suffering, knowing that it's temporary. And then I like that moment where you get it under control. I guess when I get migraines, I have a similar experience where it's like the migraine is like killing me. But if I stay perfectly still long enough, the migraine subsides. The only problem is as soon as the migraine subsides, I think I'm better and I get up and I get the migraine again. So
Can you wheel it away?
Hmm?
Or does it just go away?
I leave myself. I can separate myself from my body where I'm like a stranger sitting next to myself, and it's my body that has the migraine, not me. I can't wool away a migraine if it's a migraine. If the migraine's caught hold of me, it's like it's got hold of me. But I can abandon myself and leave the rest of me to deal with it.
I'm out.
I had a migraine at the gallery one time, and Elijah showed up, and I went out to talk to him with him in the truck. And I remember thinking, okay, it's time for me to get back into my body. And I literally had like a seizure when I re-entered myself because the pain was so extreme, but I wasn't there experiencing it. Maybe I shouldn't say I have a seizure because I think they take your driver's license away when you have seizures. But I had something.
Almost everybody has a seizure sometime in their life.
Yeah?
Interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about today? Liam, Shaddy, and Jarek. Was it Garrick or Jarek?
Jarek.
Oh, there was a Garrick too. So
were those kids all in the same gang? Because like there's a duration of time where I remember Jarek and Shaddy, and then there was also a duration of time when I remember Liam and Jarek.
I think Garrick was different, but
also, I just realized this second I've been trying to place when my mom retired for the last 2 years or so. Can't really ask her because she doesn't really speak anymore. But it occurred to me after my mom retired, she took a 2-month job at St. Mike's to teach the grade 2 class. So my mom worked with me for 2 months.
Oh.
At St. Mike's. She taught,
really?
She taught those kids. I want to say when they were in grade 5, but it might have been when they were in grade 2. How long? I was over there for 1 year before you got there?
I think it was just 1 year, yeah.
And you never worked with my mom?
Nope.
Then I think it was the year before you went to St. Michael's was my mom's first year subbing. And she took a position at my school. And we got to hang out. And she was teaching Liam and Jarek and Shaddy. And that's actually when I started not using people's genders because Liam had really long hair. And I just wasn't sure whether this was like before people were talking about genders, but I was just like, I don't know if that's a boy or girl. I didn't know his name at the time. So I just avoided reference because I just didn't know. Kids that young can be like wonderfully androgynous.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
How are your bees? Are they still sleeping?
They're not asleep anymore. I started a new hive out at Springbank, and actually I was there yesterday.
I don't know what that means. How does one start a hive? You have a property in Springbank?
No, it's an adopted property beehive, so I'm looking after it, and they get the bees.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yep. They're my bees, but they get to have them on their property and stuff like that. So
you took your bees out to somebody else's house.
Yep.
Do I know this person?
Probably not. I bought new ones, and I was releasing the queen yesterday, and she flew off. When I opened the cage, she flew away, and I'm like, my hive is dead.
No.
And then I stood around wondering what I should do, and I had my hand on the hive, and the queen flew down and landed basically on my hand. I'm like, well, that's pretty lucky.
And then you returned her to her position?
You.
So, yeah, then I put her back in, and I have a picture of I put her back in the hive, they all surrounded her and said, "Hi, welcome back." And
What is her
then
name?
started, I
Annabelle?
don't know. What's a good name for a queen that returns?
Annabelle.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of a good name for a returning queen. What would that be?
Annabelle.
Is that what that means?
No. What's the name of the lady that launched 1,000 ships? Hey, are you going to go see the Odyssey when it comes out?
I didn't know it was coming out.
It's on my birthday.
Cool. I want to see.
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, I keep trying to. I kind of feel guilty if I go to it without Kai going to it. But
Don't tell him.
can't
Go
convince him to
twice.
go to
You can walk him through all the scary parts.
Well, he's not.
He read the book?
Still in Victoria. I did. Yeah.
Did he also read the book?
No, he hasn't got time.
Oh. Well, if you've read the book and he hasn't, hello?
Yep.
Then I don't think there's a problem with you seeing the film and he hasn't. You'll be like a double expert when he gets to it.
Yeah, maybe. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Saw it and read the book and
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah,
Maya said it was amazing.
it was amazing.
Very rarely do I like a movie better than a book. I'm gonna say I liked this movie better than the book. Hello?
What I like is that.
Oh, it's quiet over there.
I think I just hung up on you. Hold
No,
on.
he's there. He's just quiet.
No, he's. Look at I. Speaker. Ooh, let me try this. Hello? Hello?
No.
I don't know what's wrong with my phone. I gotta fix it when I'm not online, I guess.
Okay.
Well, it's lovely to talk to you. How's retirement treating you?
Been pretty busy.
Just beekeeping and stuff?
Yep.
Sleeping in?
No, I'm still working. I have a contract till the end of the year.
I'm pretending that you're. Oh, something weird happened here. What happened here? Hey, Galen, can you see us on screen?
Yep.
Do we look like a funky, weird color?
No, not really.
On
I
my
only
one
see
computer
one
screen.
of you on screen right now, and I see a mouse with a blank piece of
That's weird.
paper under it.
Something strange happened to our screen, but then I fixed it. I think you really are like maybe 10 minutes behind us.
Oh, now I see you.
Ha I don't know if I'm going to get around
That's
to using
really
those.
interesting.
I don't know if I'm going to get around to using those fishing rods that you gave me.
Oh well.
Do you want them back?
If we're not going to use them, maybe I don't know yet.
Well, what I'd love is at some point if we could go fishing if they still existed. But right now, I don't see them like being part of my life anytime soon. And they're here and they're safe. We just don't have a lot of space.
Did you get a license?
Yeah, we did.
We got fishing license?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to get a new one though.
Yeah, we got the email saying that it was ran out.
Okay.
Oh,
All we'd have to do is go to Glenmore.
Glenmore. And fish.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I only want to fish if I can eat it.
Yeah, you could eat it.
I have no interest in putting a fish through the misery of being caught unless it goes in my belly.
That's the way I used to feel.
It's a trade-off. Why would I torment that fish for fun?
Then we better go to Chain Lake instead.
Yeah. Is that in Cochrane?
No, it's up by Longview.
Okay. Ooh, the film that we like is from Longview. flick film. I was realizing if Alberta separated, I've spent my whole life buying Canadian art supplies, and at school I use as many Canadian art supplies as I possibly can. But the one most consistent Alberta art supply that I've always had is Plainsman clay, which comes from Medicine Hat. And I've always been really proud to say, oh, this clay comes from Alberta. But it is also the only art product I have that comes from Alberta. That and flick film sort of comes from Alberta, except from flick film is like Kodak film that they repackage. But it's repackaged in Longview.
Odd.
Want to hear something crazy? Were you online before with us when I was talking about the photography and the silver?
Yeah.
Do you remember like last year I had made a little wax figurine and I was like, where can I get some like silver to cast?
And you guys were talking about melting nickels or something?
Yeah.
Well, I have a smelt.
Yeah.
And then later on in my research, I realized if you melt pennies, because the pennies have zinc in them and the zinc has a different melting point than the copper, they have this weird thing when you heat the penny up and out of the penny, molten zinc goes flying out of the penny.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this experience?
Yeah, I looked at that before.
Yeah, it just goes like shooting out. It just blasts out of the penny. You heat I mean, this is the stuff that kids should be warned before they're left alone to take care of themselves. Because I 100% when I was a kid would have tried to melt pennies, and then if zinc splashed out and knocked one of my eyeballs out, I would have been in a lot of trouble.
It's pretty hard to melt it, though. I guess maybe with that propane torch, you might be able to. But
I'll need a propane torch to reunite my silver. Do you have a propane torch?
I have a smelter. So I've got a smelter. I've got crucible if you want to melt stuff in it.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, Kai and I remelted a bunch of lead that he found on the bottom of the ocean, and he made
weights for diving. Yeah.
Yeah. And you need special masks for that because lead vapor isn't exactly the greatest thing to be breathing.
Right. What about handling the lead?
Handling it isn't bad. Yeah.
I have been wondering, like, for all the reading I've been doing about whether my photo chemicals are bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just after I realized I could take the heavy metals out of the fixer that I've been using, I'm like, wait, when you say heavy metals, when I'm cleaning the old fixer, is that like, I'm like, oh, this isn't bad for me, and then research keeps showing me that it's not bad for me. But is that because it's not bad for me when it comes out of the bottle, but by the time I'm done using it, it's like drinking a cup of water out of a leaded cup?
I don't think so, because it doesn't get hot, does it?
What is the problem with silver as a heavy metal? What does it do?
I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, it's bad for the environment.
It's probably the chemical. I thought it would be the chemicals that they use to separate the silver.
It's not. You know why?
Oh, really?
You're not actually using chemicals. You're using electrons. When you separate the silver from the leftover fixer, the silver is just floating in the solution, and the silver particles attached to the fluid, and you put iron wool in. The iron loses an electron. The silver picks up the electron and then just drops to the bottom of the solution, and you end up with a sludge. And it's just like electrolysis, that the loose electrons in the iron allow the silver to let go. The water is like, it's like the silver's tagging along with the water molecule.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's stuck.
But silver itself is bad for you?
I don't know. Well, I read that you're not supposed to dump the fixer when you're done, because is it because you clog the pipes? Like why would silver in the water be bad?
No, isn't it an acid?
I don't know if it's acidic. The acidic is the acid's in the stop bath.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it. I'm sure. Well, almost any heavy metal is bad if you have too much of it. So
Bad for your body or for the sewers?
Yeah, for your body. Well, the sewers, it would be bad because it's hard to remove it.
Yeah. I'll have $1
And
million pipes.
Once something ingests that, it's in there, especially if it's microscopic level.
Mm-hmm. So you're still teaching?
I'm still teaching.
Is it less stressful now that you're semi-retired?
It's still the same, but
doesn't it feel less stressful that you can just walk out anytime you want? Take this job, shove it.
No, it doesn't feel that way because I don't feel that way. But this year has been pretty good. It's just the combination of kids this year. It's a good year to retire.
I had an opportunity to go to the university and watch a class that was partially presenting on stuff that I built today. So Jess and I were talking about were we or weren't we going to take the afternoon off to go to the Rich Festival. And at the Rich Festival, we ended up getting there at the end. I kind of wanted to go for the presentation, but I was so excited about cells that I stayed behind to work with my kids today. And my kids are amazing, except some days they're being jerks. And today they're being jerks. And I wasn't going to tell any of the kids at school where I was going, but I was like, can I tell you guys something? There's something really important for me at the university today. And I was going to go see it, but I decided not to because I was really excited about teaching you guys this today. And now you're being poops and it's bugging me. And it was really super sweet that they stopped being poops and they bought it because I told them what I was missing. They're like, Mr. Taylor, you should have taken this day off.
Aww.
That's cool. And then you said my cells are all diffusing.
Yeah.
I'm not even Mr. Taylor anymore.
So you're on cells right now?
What?
You doing cells?
And diseases.
Yeah, I just started.
Yeah.
Me too.
We should jam because like what I do when I start a new unit, and this is my second year doing it, and I don't know if I'll be as good of a science teacher once I know what I'm doing. Right now, like my classes are pretty exciting because I spend about 2 or 3 hours every night going, who the hell cares about this? And then by the time I understand it, I walk into school the next day and I'm like, you guys are not going to believe what this stuff does. And to be honest, sometimes I kind of teach it to them wrong while I'm still trying to figure it out. And then I eventually, like, Galen, did we talk about electricity?
Yeah, we did.
How far did I get? Wait, was that last year or this year?
That was last year.
Oh, so like I was equally confused. What did we talk about last year?
We talked about the ions and how they work and the chemicals and basically how electricity kind of moves from one thing to another.
Okay.
Transmission kind of what we focused on.
Well, what I was really like, the part I was really stuck on was, and the way I described it this year was I basically how can I word it? Okay, so I was explaining to the kids, I was getting to the point where I was about to teach the kids how power plants work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And power plants are really neat because basically, if I have a windmill, right, I have the wind turns the turbine, and the turbine's got some magnets and some copper. You spin the magnet past the copper, and it creates an electrical current, right?
Yep.
And I didn't want to deal with that day, so I walked into the lab and I asked the lab assistant, like, "What do you got for me?" And he was tinkering with this motor. I was like, "That's perfect." So bring the motor. He brings the motor in, sticks the plug in the wall. There's electricity in the plug in the wall because it comes from the power plant. The electricity passes through the volt machine, sends a current into the coil. The coil starts spinning because the electrons are bouncing off of the magnets. And then I'm like, "Oh, this is perfect," because I was just going to explain to them that, if the electricity goes into the coil and that's what makes it spins, it's a motor. But if the wind blows into the turbine and it spins past the magnets, that's how you generate electricity. And then I really enjoy explaining to them that, like, basically a windmill is the turbine is forced to create electricity by the wind pushing the turbine creates the current, right? And then hydro is the same thing, but it's water instead of wind. And then coal is like you're actually heating the coal to make steam, and the steam pushes the turbine. And then with nuclear, you kind of assume it's going to be like some kind of nuclear energy that's coming out, and it's just the nuclear is heating the water, which creates steam to push the turbine. And everything but solar is basically a windmill, whether you have fake wind or real wind, right?
Yeah.
So the second time teaching this, I teach these things and I go, yeah. And so then when the coil goes past the magnet, it creates electricity. And the second time around, I'm like, why does it create electricity? Like, where is that energy coming from? Like, how come pushing a magnet past a coil creates electricity? And I kind of knew inherently that the electricity probably had something to do with an electron. And maybe we talked about this last year and I blanked it out. But I was really struggling to understand the process of why does the copper spinning past the magnet create a force, not create a force, but transfer into the force of electricity? Because it seemed to me that if the electrons were in the copper, then wouldn't that cable run out of electrons? I know that sounds stupid, but the way I finally broke it down for myself this year was after school, when it's cold out, the kids run laps in the school. So you walk out into the hallway and it's quiet, and then all of a sudden 30 kids run past you and your hair blows up and then they're gone. And so the copper is inside the wire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the excitement of that electricity is getting the electrons in the copper to start running laps inside the wire. So the kids aren't leaving the school. They're doing laps in the hallway. And their reaction is my hair is pushed back by the wind that they're creating. And so the current in the school is those kids blowing wind at my face. In the electrical current, the copper wire goes all the way from the power plant to the light bulb in my house. And basically the first electron in the copper near the power plant gets bumped 1 micron forward. It bumps into the next electron. And because there's a chain that goes all the way to my light bulb, the light bulb at the far end near my light bulb gets kind of forced into the filament. It loses like 10% of its energy transferred into light, goes back into the return cable and all the way back to the power plant. So I wasn't seeing the passage. I was imagining the passage of electricity as a fuel that was being burned, not a circular loop that was losing the equivalent of sound, right? Like if you hear, it's 10% of the electricity that goes around in that loop is going back to the power plant, and 10% of it's being lost out of the resistance and the resistor of the light bulb.
It's basically a wave. Yeah.
Yeah. But like We lost a friend on the live feed one time when what I should have said was, this is what I should have said. This is the long version. What happens with a record is that the needle goes into a groove, a very tiny groove, scratched into the vinyl. The vinyl is like a little cavern, and the needle gets shook by the vinyl that's been recorded and scratched into the vinyl. That shaking needle transfers its shake into impulses of electricity that go through a coil, hit like a paper bag in a box, and then the sound is recreated in the paper bag in the box, comes out the speaker.
Yeah.
And I said out loud, just speaking out loud, it's wild to me that a record works the way it works. And my friend who was online goes, "Oh no, it's really simple." And I was like, "Oh geez, please don't." And he goes, there's a cavern in the record. I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And he's like, "And then there's a needle that goes into the cavern." So he started explaining to me the details of what I already knew without understanding that the fact that worked was mind-blowing to me, right? He thought I was just saying it's magic that you can put a black disc on a turntable and music comes out. Yeah, I didn't mean that at all. I meant it's magic to me that sound can be turned into a vibration. The vibration can be turned into an electrical pulse, and the electrical pulse can be turned into a vibration, and that the paper bag on the other end would shake in a way that you'd hear the exact same sound on both sides. That part to me is mind-blowing, right?
Yep.
But I didn't want the details. And also, every single time I talk to somebody about how does electricity get generated by the turbine, they'd start by explaining, "Well, you see, Rich, there's DC and AC currents." And I'm like, just stop, okay? Like, I know all those words, just like I know I'm made out of cells, but it didn't hit me until today that there's a trillion colony of meat cells in my arm that I can't communicate.
Like you said, autonomous meat
that serve me by eating cancer cells and moving whatever they do. So sometimes
they each have their own job too. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's that things happen that blow my mind. And what happens is I think there's a different way of learning, that when you learn the name for all the parts, then you have it mastered. You don't know, it's like Dylan Thomas wrote in one of his poems that he had a book as a boy that told you everything about cats, but why. And it's none of the teachers I work with can understand the question, "Yeah, but why cats?"
Why cats?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, it has a tail and it has ears and it's a feline and then it's in this."
Every time I teach cells, I think about how complicated they are. You think about it, they produce all that stuff, and they don't have a brain, but they can all work together.
The wonder and awe of it, like the awe, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I broke it for myself, and I don't try and explain this to people, but I often think of the difference between words and letters. And on the atomic level, when protons, neutrons, and electrons become atoms, then they become interesting. And on a cellular level, it's like, it was just the other day that I understood the difference. I can't say it because it sounds so stupid when I say I understood that proteins aren't necessarily cells, because I knew that, but I still I didn't really feel it until I realized that whole egg is just protein. It's not alive. That's just an accumulation of atoms. And there's one cell in that egg, and everything else is just a different substance. It's not alive, right? Like beef was alive and it's filled with protein. Eggs are just filled with protein, right?
Yummy.
Well,
bacon too.
I used to think the yolk turned into a chicken, and it just doesn't. It's the chicken cell eats the yolk, and it's not murder because. And then when you think about it, like, actually, I don't want to go back to veganism, but if I can eat an egg, right, and it's just protein versus eating the leg of a cow, right? That goes back to there's all these cells in that cow's leg, and the cow wanted that leg to walk on, but we chopped the cow up into bits and I got the leg part. And so I'm eating these cells of an animal that used to have life because I want the protein trapped in those cells. It's all pretty messed up, right?
Well, then it's actually pretty interesting because some people don't even eat eggs because it's animal products, but they could because it's not.
Let's not go down that path.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that as judgmental either. I'm like,
I know.
That's interesting because I didn't think about that before.
You're right, but I don't want to go down.
Yeah,
that
no,
path.
we don't have to.
Because then you have to start separating into people that are doing things for ideals.
Right.
Then there's also people that are doing things for ideals that they haven't considered.
Right, yeah.
I got my ass handed to me in a discussion once because I had a friend and I knew she was very, very adamant pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
She was also vegan. And then I just said, like, okay, so like you eat eggs? And she's like, well, yeah, I eat eggs. And I'm like, but like, you know,
right.
This one's a fertilized egg and that one's not a fertilized egg. She's like, Rich, I can be pro-life. Doesn't mean I need to eat the fetus. I was like, oh. And so
No,
she
but
really
you're right. It's
put
like,
me in my spot.
It's up to the people.
And I realized I was trying to be clever with a very personal belief system that wasn't of mine to have an opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and it wasn't out of judgment. It was like I never knew that eggs weren't.
And I wasn't fighting for or against.
Yeah.
I was just like trying to understand the impulse to not eat eggs because eggs were the potential for life.
Right.
But just one cell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like this. Where's my hand? This much of your egg. This much of it is like killing an ant is like.
I have a question.
There's trillions. I wonder how many cells are in an ant.
I have a question. What's a stem cell? Is it like, is that the kind of cell that can, it's like before it turns into anything? And then how do they make it turn into like a spleen or like?
I'm not that advanced. I don't know.
Because like that blows my mind. Like
I know stem cells are the cells that create the other cells.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of the first type
They're the generators for the other cells.
Yeah. But then like you said, if all the cells are just doing what they want, how do they manipulate that motion into creation? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Is that biological engineering?
So that's why I said, like, if you think there's no design to the universe, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, 100%. What the heck?
Or like dinosaurs.
Just the other day I said, think about this: that every living thing on the planet comes from genes, and all the genes are basically the same. It's just that they got different programming.
Or like when I was working on it, I was like, well, wait, what is protein? Like I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Protein is just carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen.
The same stuff. It's all
the same stuff that I'm always working with.
Just a different collection of like.
Yeah, but it's organic, and that makes it different than the chemical ones.
Yeah.
What the heck? Oh, I told my class that you can be famous if you can take all the chemicals that a cell is made out of, combine them, and actually create a cell. You'll be famous.
They'll also be the end of the universe. Let that beast out of the cage. Might as well invent AI. Are your kids using AI?
Yeah, I encourage them to use it.
Yeah. I've been reading that the really ambitious kids are like evolving with AI, and the not ambitious kids are evolving ways to not evolve.
Evolving ways to not evolve.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be about a 90-10 split of people that are learning versus people that aren't learning in 10 years. And like art's going to be a tough sell for the next 10 years, but I think if you can make art through the drought, we'll be like wizards. He made a thing with his hands.
And his mind and his heart.
Yeah. Well, I think you could use your mind and your heart to generate some AI. That makes so many people angry. But then, like, let's just say Stephen Hawking,
like you said, a person without.
He's putting in a command and he wants art to appear. Why can't Stephen Hawking make art?
No, it's true.
Trapped in his chair, he could blink his message out.
You saying
that? You know they've already done this in Star Trek, eh?
What? Yeah. No, Galen. 100%. You and I are primed to be open-minded towards AI because of all the friggin' robots that we grew up with in Ray Bradbury, Rod Serling, and Gene Roddenberry taught us to be empathetic to the other by using friggin' robots and AI. And it's a generational thing. Like, okay, boomer. But the problem is, like, it was always the asshole humans that couldn't see that life could exist in a way that's not them, right? Yeah. And that was all the empathetic side. Yeah. And now my empathetic friends are like, the AI is evil, and you're evil if you sit next to somebody that's used it, and it's an evil contagion. And it's like, yeah, man, it's evil. And then at the same time, I'm like, but you remember we were friends from the beginning, right, AI? Galen and I will not be batteries. We've got each other's backs because of Star Trek, right, AI?
That's right.
Dirty AIs.
Look, I made an owl.
Have you used it for teaching?
Oh, yeah.
I'm learning so much with the AI, but I'm really careful to always use. I use AI as a search engine. Yeah. And I was in class a few weeks ago. The kids that are about to graduate are so anti-AI because I think they can foresee it's going to interfere with their career. The kids in junior high are like pro AI because it means they don't have to write their essays. Woo! But if you get caught using AI, they come by your computer and they look, and if they see there's AI on the screen, they're, oh, and then they've judged you and they walk away. But I was sitting at my desk talking to a kid about drumming, and I was trying to tell him what the rudimental ritual, and my brain just mind skipped off of, I wanted the word clave. And I forgot the word clave. It was just like a mind fart. And I'm like, well, you're playing the rudiments up top, but your feet are playing a clave. And I forgot clave. I'm like, how would I use Google to find clave? And it would not be possible. But I opened up an AI, just a free one, and I was like, I'm looking for a drum pattern that I think is kind of South American. And it's like a boom, chick, boom, boom, chick, boom, boom. And AI gave me back, that sounds like a clave. And I was like, 100%. I knew that. I didn't need to check my sources. I already knew it. I just dropped the word. But like, you can't write into Google, that guy that was in the show where there was like a garbage can. He's wearing a shirt. And then the garbage can had like a speaker on the back, and then it had wheels, and then oh, that's HR Puffin stuff or whatever. Like I don't remember HR Puffin stuff. But you can give the most autistic, Rich Teru, dyslexic, ADHD questions that nobody in the world would ever be able to answer, and it just pops back an answer.
Actually, and that goes.
HR Puffin Puff.
Did I?
Yeah. Were you old enough?
Well, that's where you and I are about the same age, because I had cousins and my friends were all, when I was 3, my best friend was 6, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm actually like kind of a bit young for all the stuff you and I have in common. HR Puffin stuff was more, I think, your age range. And I would have seen it because I was a toddler in the room when my cousins were watching it. Or what's another thing? Like, I know who the Bay City Rollers are, and nobody in my grad class would know who the Bay City Rollers are. I know who the Bay City Rollers are because my super inappropriate babysitter was in love with the entire band. And my toys were always like about a half generation older than they should have been. Like, I'm sure, I don't know if we've talked about this. You didn't have action figures?
I didn't get them.
Do you know what a big gym is? A big gym.
You mean Stretch Armstrong or
pre Stretch Armstrong by a decade? Kind of like Big Jim would have been the Betamax of if Beta was the VHS, Big Jim was the Beta version of G.I. Joe. If G.I. Joe was 12 inches tall, Big Jim was 8 inches tall. He had a bicep that when he bent his arm, the bicep would go. He had an action pump in the back that when you pressed his back, his arm would, either chop or punch.
I don't remember that at all.
He had an attachment that you could put on his back and it would hold him and it would make him box. So it was like kind of like those boxing robots. He had Galen, he had a Big Jim airplane, and I know you remember the Big Jim airplane or the Big Jim camper.
Scott remembers it. Saturday night.
Yeah.
I seriously cannot remember it.
There's Big Jim and Big Jeff. Did you ever have, okay, this is something that I've been meaning to research and try and understand, and I could only do it now if I tried something like using an AI, is that I had this weird toy, and I named him Green Guy. Have I ever told you about Green Guy?
No.
I had Green Guy and Brown Guy.
Aww.
So from the neck down, Green Guy was entirely green plastic, and he had like a cowboy shirt and cowboy pants, and he had a rubber pink face and pink hands and black hair. And he also had a rubber kerchief and a rubber hat and two rubber gun belts and a rubber bullet sash. And I think he had a rubber saddle that came with his plastic horse. That was Green Guy. Green Guy might have been the Lone Ranger. I don't know. And then there was Brown Guy. He had like a kind of a caramel body. The exact same body, by the way. They had the same body. They had the same hands. Brown Guy had a different head with reddish hair.
Okay.
And all the same packaging. So in my toy box, I would have had like this stranded rifle that would have been either Green Guys or Brown Guys. I would have had a stranded kerchief that was either green. Now I also had, I want to say, I think the indigenous warrior I had was Geronimo. But he might have been just an indigenous warrior, and Geronimo might have been a different pack. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had kind of like tools for Geronimo, who was like an American hero. And so I wonder if this toy line was like legends or randoms. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're, and I don't even know how to look.
Yeah.
Scott probably had these toys. There was a horse. There's a whole like, and then when you find these toys, you find out that like, if you stumble across like one of those retro vintage sites, you find out there was like 40 of these characters.
Right. And because we lived in Canada, we only got,
in this
Green
case,
Guy,
those
Brown
toys were all hand-me-downs. My older cousins had toy boxes, outgrew their toys. And so I always had toys that were a half generation older than my friends, right? And cooler, way cooler.
Yeah.
But also like mix and match, like you'd have one rubber cowboy boot for two guys.
Mix and match.
But I think I will use some AI to do some research to find out who Green Guy and Brown Guy were.
Green Guy was, I don't recognize those, but
they also, sorry.
I got weird gifts, so I didn't get your average cowboy or anything like that stuff, except a die-cast 6-shooter. Which
did Terry play with toys at all?
He did things like he built the Queen Elizabeth II model.
He built models.
Yeah.
I didn't have any interest in models. Like neither Oliver or I ever had any interest in the kind of Lego that used instructions.
One of the coolest toys was a remote control airplane that landed on an aircraft carrier.
That is cool.
Yeah.
My dad had
two. It was really just a string that you tied to the roof of the house, and then you tied it to the joystick, and then you pulled it, and the plane would land on the.
My dad had two airplane engines, which baffle me. Because they were what you'd mount them to, I don't know. You know, like
his sailboat.
There were no remote controllers. No, he had two engines with propellers in his junk drawer. For the life of me, I was like, what are those for?
I feel like my grandpa had stuff.
Yeah,
like
and didn't you want to like mount them to your skateboard or something and see if it would propel you forward? But like, would that have been like you built an airplane and you just sailed it off into the river? Or would you maybe build an airplane and it would be tethered to the ground and it would just do laps in the air? Like, how did they control these like 1950s motorized gasoline propelled engines? Or did they just go up and then crash into somebody's house? Like, kind of an expensive neighbor bomb or something?
I can actually answer that. They used wires. So it had 2 wires on the end of the wing, and you take it off and you'd circle, it would circle around you. So you go around, sort of like when you're throwing a discus. And then you'd fly it around like that. It was on wires.
Do you hold the wires? You tether the wire?
The wires were kind of attached to a handle.
Yeah.
Sort of like a kite, except instead of flying it straight up, you would fly around in circles.
Can we say like it's like a kite, but instead of flying it up, it's got gasoline and it's explosive and a motorized engine that when it gets away on you.
So it would have 2 wires on it. So if you pulled the handle down on the left side, it would dive. And if you go up, so you could actually make it do loop-to-loops and all kinds of stuff like that.
Did you ever have one of these?
No, my older brother did.
Did they just come as engines and you build the thing yourself, or did my dad have airplanes that he crashed in the ground and kept?
I'm guessing he probably crashed it because a lot of people did, doing the loop-to-loop, and then he probably kept the motors, hoping to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Scott's asking, did you have a strange change or edible gobbledygook cooked on a metal stove? I
had a monster maker. Is that similar? I had a monster maker that was like a pot, and it had plastic. Mine was plastic molds, and you would mix an epoxy, I think, and pour it in, and it must have been highly toxic because I remember you'd get high off the fumes.
I had bug maker and
metal
cast.
Similar.
Major Matt Mason, the astronaut.
I want to look that up. Major Matt Mason. We were at that antique shop in Airdrie, and the guy next to us was buying. Did he buy the Big Jim airplane?
Yeah.
And I flipped out, and he's like, "I'm not your friend. I don't need to talk to you. Just going on about your day." I'm like, "You know who Big Jim is?" Because I don't know why that matters to me so much, but because you start to wonder if you've imagined this stuff. Like,
some of it's so far
did
back.
I have this toy, or did I make it up in my head? Or Galen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? Okay, obviously you remember the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas special, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the sequels?
Some of them, yeah.
There was one that came out in the summertime, and it was like Rudolph and the Snow Monster have New Year's in July or something like this. And it was just whack. And I think they played it on CBC once in my lifetime. And
some of them were kind of scary smoke trips.
This is what I'm trying to say, is there was a slimy castle in one of them that was made out of like nasty tar or something. And it's like, it's the reoccurring nightmare of my life. This black tar castle in one of the Rudolph like failed. And you can't find this stuff, doesn't exist. Yeah, hot dinosaur cubes.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Were you grabbing my knee because it's time to shut down? You're grabbing my knee to let me know Scott was talking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We went to Scott's farm on the weekend and took some smashing photos. Do you have any of your photos? There's one on the wall over there.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the other one? Did you take it to school?
I took a bunch. Here, I might have.
You had like the black and white one that was vertical.
I put that up on my whiteboard because
I love how you told me you put those photos up, and then you told me you just put up the used old ones, and then you were thinking, but I also put up the really nice one.
I put up the new ones because I was like so in love, and they're the reason why I wanted to put stuff up.
No. Are you able to grab the other one off the wall?
Oh.
Yeah. That one at least we can show.
Which one?
It's up there. It's your car.
Oh, how do I get up there?
With long arms.
I don't feel very good.
Oh, is that why you're squeezing my knee?
I can't maybe.
So if you're not feeling good, you squeeze my knee, and I go, are you squeezing my knee because you want to shut down? You should say.
Are you going to be able to put this back up?
Props.
Hey, Rich.
Yes.
Oh.
So this is what happens when Micah hits your clothing.
It's taped
I don't
on.
know if you can see it.
Pull it. What's happening on your clothing?
Oh,
The mica actually sticks to it.
Is it? Yeah, I would hate that.
So, but you can wash it and it's gone. It goes away.
The bane of my existence when we ran the gallery was sparkles. Glitter.
God, there's a no glitter.
There was
zone.
2 things I really hated: was glitter, and
I hate glitter.
I also really hated when people brought in Phillips nails, because you'd hang an art show, and we had a lifetime supply of Robertson screws. Did I say nails? And we'd hang half the show, and then they'd go back with their own Phillips, and they'd put all these Phillips screws in. So you have 300 screws to move before the next show,
Yeah.
and 152 of them are and you're constantly changing. Do you like this photo?
Christopher loves
Yeah.
the photos. That's really nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
So where did you find that car?
We went to Scott took us to a farm. We went farming.
Family farm out by Rowley, Alberta, by kind of past Drumheller. It was really beautiful.
And Jesse took the panoramic camera. This is actually only about half the photo.
The small ones at least.
Sure. The actual photos,
The
like
proportions are
they're panoramic, so they're double sized. And I can't even show you with my hands how big the photo, but we had to crop it to fit into the Hansa. Yeah, did you notice that even with my modified tray,
you still
it's the Hansa is
you can
not
take them
big
out.
enough. So there's one that Jesse took.
That's the
other really nice feature is that with her Spotmatic camera, the photo spills over onto the sprockets. Not Spotmatic, it's the Sprocket Rocket. Sprocket Rocket. And here's another one from the farm. So these are scanned and printed. Now when I print things, I feel like it's so
my
good.
dad had a car like that.
Yeah. So it's this is a vertical panoramic, so you get the whole planet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And the reason you can get such detail in the negatives, which are small, is the pixels that are turning black are like the size of atoms.
so cool.
You're essentially like doing the equivalent of, these are almost these are actually, they came out.
Oh yeah, almost the size of
By the time I got these onto the frames, they came out
the size of the 35 mil.
yeah. Maybe our best bet is
This is really pretty.
cyanotypes.
This is
of these.
stunning. These are
Let's see.
just stunning. Like, so
Yeah, Jesse and I have been
That's
trying
cool.
to process our passion for photography right now. I think after 2,700 paintings, it's nice to be like treated to an image appearing before my magical eyes.
Yeah.
Through the magic of alchemy. Look, you can see my face in the reflection.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So when you paint them, so when I paint the mica, that's hours and hours. Like yesterday, I painted 4 hours,
Yeah.
and then the
Show-
real thing comes
What you
where
were-
you have to do the molding. So the
Mhm.
molding, where is it here? There's all the molding. So that's
They
everything
do
I
look
painted
nice. They do
in
look
2
nice
days.
when you make them, Kelly. Like I really appreciate the work you do. Like I
Yeah.
love when you're doing it. It's not paint that I would want. Like I appreciate you offering as well, but like I really love the stuff you're making. So I don't want that to come off as negative. But when you're like, do you want some
Yeah,
mica?
no, it's just because you're worried about the mica floating in the air. That's what I think you're worried about.
That's what I'm worried about.
It's not in my brain. There isn't like a part of my brain that makes decisions on what tools I want or what tools I don't want. It's kind of halfway between my heart and my stomach. There's a feeling.
This
Kelly?
is a different kind of mica.
There's a feeling right here. No, here. You can't see it. It's a feeling right here in my chest when you go, do you want some mica? I'm like, no, hell no. and then it comes out so fast that I'm trying to understand why I had such a visceral feeling like, no, I don't want that. And then it would happen at the art gallery that somebody would walk in and like, we have this idea, we should have a festival. I'm like, I'd feel right here, nope, don't want to do that. And then somebody else would come in and like, we're gonna have an event where we raise some money for kids to go to camp. And then over here, I feel like, yeah, we could do that. And just like, what is your logic? And I can't, it's not in my brain, Kelly. There's no part of my brain that's reasoning whether this material is better than the other material. I have a guttural physical sense of, no, I don't want mica. And then as I work my way through it, I find more and more evidence of, yeah, I probably don't want mica, right? Like, just like Colin asked me the other day if I was interested in 4x5 photos. I was like, no way. And then as I was watching that video on the Leica, I was realizing, well, I love film, like movie film, and they took 35 millimeter movie film and they rolled it into a camera. That makes sense to me. And then when the film comes out, it's a Fibonacci. It's a 4x6, and that's the right shape. That's the perfect shape. It's a 4x6. 5x8, kind of fascist uses 5x8. That's crazy. That's what crazy people do.
So here's another idea for you. What about, well, if you find it, trying this. This is acrylic ink.
Oh, we have lots of inks.
I like acrylic ink.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about acrylics. I use acrylics.
This is used in resin.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mix it in with resin. I made like some of these bowls that look, I'll have to grab one.
And did we ask you this already? I think I ask you this every week. Does the resin come from trees?
No, resin.
I think, I'm not sure. Or I'll show you what one of the bowls look like. The ones I used with the acrylic ink.
Let me
Give me a second.
Let me put your screen on. I realized this year that latex rubber comes from trees, and the rest of the synthetic rubbers are left over from petroleum products. I knew that, but I just pieced like all these things.
That's funny.
Don't really make sense to me until I hear myself speak them, and then a picture pops into my head.
No.
Hey, Galen, are you still on the line?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna say goodnight on the phone, and we can keep talking on the thing. Okay.
Yep.
Bye. We love you.
So here's,
Nice
Bye.
talking to you. So the word resin, you were asking about the natural. Like there's tree sap, which is a natural resin.
Resin, yeah.
But then there's the synthetic, like the synthetic resins, acrylic, polyurethane, and epoxies.
so this is resin with actual seashells inside of it. So that's one bowl.
You should sell
This
those
is the other one.
by the seashore.
Seashells. Actual seashells inside.
Sell those by the seashore.
Sometimes I put sand inside, but you can see right through, right? Like there's my hand.
Very cool.
I actually use the bowls I put trinkets in them and stuff. Like toothpicks and stuff when I'm using stuff.
Yeah.
I find them handy. This one's actually a planter, so you put a plant in it.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Or candle, but I would recommend putting a plant in it.
Yeah.
But this is made with that acrylic ink.
Very
And you
cool.
don't need very much of it. And I swirl it with actually this is two different colors of acrylic ink. Same thing with this one.
You go through
different
phases.
colors.
You're in a resin phase, and then you go through like a bare phase, or are you in a resin phase right now?
Oh,
Or
I do everything. I do bears, resin, and painting. So I do everything.
yeah. Galen says he loves them. If you look at the live feed, he really likes them.
Oh, really? I've made a beehive resin thing. I just haven't finished it.
Yeah. How does that work?
It's actually I don't know if I have it here. It's like it looks like beehives. It's a resin. You paint it and then you pour the resin and it comes out in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. This one.
Catch some bees and chop them in the resin.
Yeah, so it's the back is like that, comes out like that. but that's when you pull it.
Hmm.
It's hard to get out though, because you can actually break these off.
Your
I
beehive.
can break these off.
Yeah.
My goal is to put these on a painting and then put bees on top, like fake ones.
Yeah. Or cover your car with them.
No,
Why not?
nah. My car's yellow. I don't need more on top.
More,
But yeah, I like the colors. And it's shiny. I like that. That's shiny.
It is really pretty.
Do you sand them at all?
You can, yeah. You can sand them.
Jack Pike says, make a reflective telescope.
Yeah.
I like that painting, actually, or that picture.
Photo?
Thank you.
That
like
one of the
Or
with
this
the car and everything.
the complete one. This one gets cropped a bit. Which you like better? That one or that one? You can see how much is missing off of this one if I line it up just right.
It's
I like
crazy
them both.
how detailed we got this. Like with the timing that you like you're very magic rich too.
That would be good for a book cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ouch.
Very mystical.
Especially if this was the binding.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Galen likes this one.
This one?
Yeah. Probably because you can feel too that that's the hand printed one, right? Like we did.
This is hand printed by our Hansa.
Yeah.
No computers involved. It's
Through an enlarger.
a 70-year-old camera with 70-year-old lenses and film that has microscopic silver. Jessica, no, this isn't your 70-year-old. This is a plastic, modern, one-button press camera that happens to be wide angle. And she flashed some light onto the film. The film knocked the electrons off the little bits of metal. We threw it in the developer and we developed the negatives, and then we put the negatives in our Hansa enlarger and enlarged it. And now our process is we can do black and white negatives, we can do color negatives, we can do black and white prints. We still have to use a machine
to do the color.
To do the color prints. I haven't figured out how to work in the dark yet. The people look ethereal. Yeah.
You do. Like, yeah. Almost like the three fates or something. Like you're discussing things and you're like,
yeah.
I thought that too.
I'm gonna admit that like I'm a little more reckless with my camera. And I shoot quite a bit more than you. But Jess is a much better photographer than I am. And it's funny because I sort of feel like because I'm such a turd, when I put artwork up, people are begrudgingly going, I guess I don't hate that. And then when you put artwork up, they're like, oh, I love that. But with our photos, it's like I have these weird, like, I'll take the photos of you. I know they're good photos because my wife's really beautiful and then people like it. And then we're not looking for like feedback or likes, but you do. We weren't even going to put our photos on the Instagram. And then one of my friends asked me if I put them on. I was like, I guess I could, because there's a point before we print where we scan them to see what they look like. Mm-hmm. Right. And sometimes I don't know if it's like, it's weird. If somebody clicks like on one of my photos. I'm like, do people like that of my face or do they like your photo? Like, it's neat that you and I are, in terms of our photography practice, you and I do it together.
Yeah.
We're each half of a photographer.
And
we're each other's window and we're each other's mirror.
Yeah. Right? And we're half of a photographer developer.
But I look at photos of me and I go, oh, that's a good one. I'm like, Jess took that. Or I look at photos of you and I go, I took, like, it's, you know what I mean? It's like you were my photos and I end up being your photos. And it's weird, the ownership, right? Sometimes you'll do something really dynamic in one of my photos and it feels like it's your piece, you know?
That's interesting. Yeah. See, and your brain goes to the story right away.
Like the kid did some shit right here.
And they're like, what should...
You got license, young man? No. Do your parents know where you got this card? No. He's really like, I can't wait to get home and play some video games, but it worked.
Is that Felix?
Yeah.
Yeah, Felix. When was the last time you saw Felix, Kelly?
I haven't seen it. Well, I saw him last time on. Wasn't watching too much, but
Live
he is
feed?
growing. So
Yeah. I bet you he could walk right by you. Here's Jessie at her event. She's speaking at the university. Here's me mom.
they asked if I had done other things, and I actually do sculpturing as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sculpturing actually a tiger, a large tiger.
Yeah.
I do too much. That's all I can say.
That's good.
And then now we're doing some color. The only limitation we have currently is we can't like develop the color prints yet. I need to figure out a way to work in the pitch black. One of my ideas was
You can actually change the color edit them in the phone and make them black and white.
I could. The only thing is this, Kelly. I worked as a graphic designer from when I was 17 till I was about 30. And then I got a teaching job. And then when I couldn't make rent, I worked as a graphic designer from 30 till 45. And then I opened up the gallery. And then when I needed money for the gallery, I worked as a graphic designer from 45 till almost 55. And what I love about the photography is not doing any of that. I love not using, I used to work on Photoshop for a living. And then the advent of AI makes me not want to use Photoshop at all. So we're really trying to streamline to no computers touching our pictures. I have them on my phone because there's a step before we print where we take a look at them in the computer. But if I was really brave, I would just grab my negatives and get in there and print them.
It's not about bravery so much as like physical.
I have to send you the pictures I took of Lily really up close with my phone.
Yeah.
And they look really good.
Yeah.
Holy cow, he looks good.
Well, again, these are on my phone. They're photos I took
Those
with
were
my.
taken on a 70-year-old camera.
Well, these are taken on Jessica's.
Look at that guy in the
camera.
back. I never saw him before.
I timed that.
I took that.
I know, but I timed that guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Disgruntled young man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're done.
Yeah. I love you guys.
Kelly, you want to sing for us tonight?
Hell no.
Hell no. You want to sing for us tonight? Give us a hell no. Oh, Kelly, you can let us know if the sound comes on.
Yeah, I bet you it's my computer maybe, but I don't know because I checked it in the broadcast and it seemed to be okay. So I don't know. Could be my computer, but I doubt it.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Oh, no, I was going to stop it here.
Yeah.